Chapter 120, The Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School Destroyed. Tang San changes his mind after Gurong blew himself up. Ning Rongrong and Tang San vanished. At the moment of the explosion, Tang San had felt a spatial force fling them both away to some unknown place. Chu Chen, I'll go after those two, Dugubo said. They're just stray dogs, no need to bother, Chu Chen replied. He knew Tang San was not easy to kill. The Asura god stood guard behind him. If that was the case, Chu Chen would give him time to catch up, until he had to face a far more terrifying despair. Ning Fengji lay on the ground convulsing, his body torn apart, apparently by Gurong's blast. I won't kill the remaining disciples, Chu Chen said. A spirit as powerful as the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda should leave some legacy, but the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School must be destroyed. The reason Chu Chen had left the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda was part of his plan. If he intended to one day unify the Douluo continent, he would need an unimaginably terrifying army to guard the new Douluo world formed after unification. Therefore, a top-tier 16 was indispensable. But that was a story for later. You are destined to die a miserable death, Ning Fengji spat, his voice choked with rage. Then he exhaled for the last time. With his body so mangled, how much longer could he have lasted anyway? At that point, the goal of annihilating the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School had been achieved. Chu Chen and Dugu Bo turned and left, leaving behind a scene of utter devastation. The glorious Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School, one of the upper three sects, had been destroyed. News of it would spread instantly. By then, the entire Douluo continent would surely be thrown into turmoil. Almost 100 miles away from the ruins of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School, Tang San woke up in a forest, soaked in blood. Nearly 80% of his meridians were broken. If not for the mysterious heaven skill and his powerful physique keeping him barely alive, he would have died long ago. As he came to, he heard Ning Rongrong nearby, sobbing. Father, Grandpa Bone. Ning Rongrong curled herself up, grief crushing her. Seeing her like that, Tang San felt a sudden surge of pity. He moved forward and hugged her. She leaned into him, clinging tight and crying aloud. If Chu Chen could have seen that sight, he would have found it unbearable. Rongrong, don't cry. We can't go back to Shrek Academy. I'll contact teacher in secret. I want to establish a new sect and use my Tang sect hidden weapons to finish Chu Chen. Tang San growled softly. The grass over Xiaowu's grave was probably already 3 meters high. Tang San felt maybe he should do something too. Ning Rongrong cried until she finally fainted. In the days that followed, the news of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School's destruction hit the Douluo continent like a bomb. All factions were stunned, most of all the Heaven Do Imperial family and Spirit Hall. When Emperor Shuiye heard, he could neither think by day nor sleep by night. His state of mind gave Qian Renshui the opening she needed to start her plan. In the Supreme Pontiff Palace of Spirit Hall, the news was brought to Bibi Dong. The Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School was actually destroyed? Who did it? She demanded. They handed her the information. Dugubo's identity was not hard to guess, but when she learned the other hand behind it was the boy who had escaped her grasp 4 years ago, her heart trembled. In only 4 years, Chu Chen had become so powerful, a sliver of fear crept into her. Chu Chen, I must kill him, she said. Whether because Chu Chen had harmed Yu Xiaogang or because of that old pursuit, the hatred between her and Chu Chen had become irreconcilable. If she didn't kill him now, perhaps in a few years, he would be the one attacking Spirit Hall. Would she still be able to ensure his death then? Move the plan forward. Elder Ju, go to the Heaven Do Empire and tell Qian Renshui the plan starts early. Let her kill that trash, Emperor Shuiye, as soon as possible. Bibi Dong's voice was cold and authoritative. Since Gui Mei had been dealt with by Chu Chen and lost the uniting two poles domain, Chrysanthemum Douluo's status had plummeted. Now he had become little more than an errand boy. These matters of yours in recent days have stirred up quite a commotion. I fear the heat will come back on you, Qian Renshui said when she met Chu Chen. But as soon as she looked at him, there was praise in her eyes. He had truly wiped out the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School just like that. Only a man like this was worthy of her admiration. It's fine if it creates a stir. The Douluo continent has long been full of undercurrents. I only added a bit of fuel to the fire. Chu Chen smiled. The chain reaction set off by the school's annihilation had fallen within his expectations. He now had enough strength to protect himself. His goals would be realized step by step. "What do you plan to do next?" Qian Renshui asked. She had received Bibi Dong's order to move the plan forward. Chu Chen considered for a moment. "Those things are not what I should be thinking about right now. Although I hope the Douluo can be unified, achieving it is too complicated." Qian Renshui understood how difficult it would be. She was silent for a beat. Then Chu Chen suddenly remembered something and asked, "Are you willing to do me a favor?" "Say it. With our relationship, there's no need for formality," Qian Renshui replied at once. "Do you know about the vast sea cosmic shroud?" Qian Renshui had heard the name. After thinking a moment, she nodded. "Are you referring to that 6? "Exactly. Even if that thing isn't destroyed, it shouldn't stay in the Heaven Do imperial family's hands. So," Chu Chen's tone turned serious. Regarding the vast sea cosmic shroud, he thought it was time to get his hands on it. As an item containing the sea god's remnant soul, whether destroyed or not, it could not be allowed for Tang to obtain. "That thing seems to be just a 22. It's not hard to get. Does this count as a favor? Then will you owe me one?" Qian Renshui smiled and looked at Chu Chen. Chapter 121. Yu Xiaogang regrets his past actions, Qian Renshui's identity exposed. "Then next time, I'll return the favor?" Chu Chen's eyes glittered with teasing amusement as he smirked at Qian Renshui. "That will depend on whether I ask first," he added, half joking. Qian Renshui's answer showed she agreed. She didn't know what the vast sea cosmic shroud really was. On the surface, it looked like nothing more than a 23, an insignificant item, it seemed. "Leave it to me. I'll get it for you soon," she said plainly, rose, and vanished ahead. These short meetings had become an unspoken routine between them. Chu Chen watched her go, then turned and left as well. Outside Heaven Do City, the Shrek group had gathered, the Golden Triangle, Dai Mubai, Juju King, and teacher Qin Ming, who had now reached the Spirit Saint level. Seeing Tang San and Ning Rongrong alive, Dai Mubai could hardly contain his relief. "Little San, Rongrong, you're alive." Dai Mubai's voice was thick with emotion. They had heard the 7 treasure glazed tile school was destroyed and had despaired. Tang San, Ning Rongrong, and Oscar had gone there. They had feared the worst. Now, seeing Tang San and Ning Rongrong in front of them, everyone crowded around, asking what had happened. "How did you escape, little San?" Flender demanded. "It was Senior Bone Douluo. He sacrificed himself, detonated to give us time to run," Tang San replied in a trembling voice. At the mention of Bone Douluo, Ning Rongrong broke down and cried again. Dai Mubai's anger flared, a fierce aura erupting from him. Of the original Shrek 7 devils, only 4 remained. Xiao Wu, Oscar, and Ma Hongjun had all been killed by Chu Chen. "Chu Chen, he deserves to die," Yu Xiaogang ground out, fists clenched. He had once believed Bibi Dong could take Chu Chen down, but Ditian's sudden arrival had shown what a true powerhouse looked like. In the 4 years since, Chu Chen had grown even more terrifying. He had actually destroyed the 7 treasure glazed tile school. Regret gnawed at Yu Xiaogang. He had once hoped to recruit Chu Chen as his 42 at Notting Academy. If only he had succeeded, would any of this have happened? "We're not a match for them yet," Flender said gravely. "Little San, what are your plans?" Tang San's expression dimmed. "First, I want to find any trace of my father. Then I'll set up my own 47 and use hidden weapons to make sure Chu Chen dies." At the mention of Tang Hao, Tang San's eyes flickered with pain. He hadn't heard from his father in years. Tang Hao hadn't come to his aid during any of Tang San's crises. The others exchanged looks. The consensus was grim. If Tang Hao were alive and able, he would have appeared by now. "No, father won't die. He must have been delayed by something," Tang San insisted, clinging to hope. "I'll build my own, 47, and then return to the Clear Sky sect." Tang San's voice hardened. The flames of revenge burned in his eyes. Teacher Qin Ming watched them, his expression troubled. Shrek Academy was his alma mater, and yet this group's talk revolved only around revenge, not teaching or growth. If they kept on this path, Shrek would tear itself apart. A few days later at Heaven Do Royal Academy, Chu Chen reclined leisurely. Many new faces had appeared over the years. The original Huangdo team had graduated, but stayed on as instructors or, like Chu Chen, taken up comfortable lives at the academy. Yu Tianheng has been recalled? Chu Chen asked when Ye Lingling relayed the news. He wasn't surprised. With the 7 treasure glazed tile school gone, the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan would panic and likely pull back their 42s to preserve themselves. Yes, the destruction of that school has everyone on edge, Ye Lingling said softly. I hold them no grudge. They're not my concern. Chu Chen didn't mean to attack the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. He and Yu Tianheng had been teammates. Their relationship had never been close friendship, but it had been decent enough. No grudge existed between them. By the way, Chu Chen, I want to visit Senior Emerald Swan when I have the chance, Ye Lingling said suddenly. Is our Lingling thinking of Senior Emerald Swan as a master? Chu Chen teased. Ye Lingling snorted. She taught me how to use the 9, and she helped me obtain my 5th 38. That the Emerald Swan allowed one of her kin to become your 38 shows a lot of trust. You should go see her. Chu Chen agreed. His relations with those great vicious beasts were good now. Then Ye Lingling's tone shifted. She fixed her gaze on Chu Chen, and he felt a chill crawl up his spine. Are you very close to Crown Prince Shui Qinghe? She asked. Chu Chen blinked. Why would she ask that? He hesitated, then felt Ye Lingling look at him with a knowing smile. I think he's actually a woman. Chu Chen went speechless. If even Emperor Shuiye in the court couldn't see through it, how could Ye Lingling be so sure? Don't underestimate a woman's intuition, she said. He's probably the blonde woman we met in the Stardo Great Forest. Before Chu Chen could reply, Ye Lingling pinched his arm hard. The sharp pain forced him to give in and tell her about Qian Renshui. Ye Lingling already suspected most of it. She'd simply wanted confirmation. Once she got it, she relaxed, leaning into Chu Chen's arms and enjoying the quiet. Their peace was broken when Douluo burst in, panic written across his face. Old poison, something's happened, he said, voice grave. What is it? Chu Chen's expression went cold. If anything could make Douluo look like this, it had to be serious. After taking a moment to compose himself, Douluo finally said, the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan was wiped out last night. What? Chu Chen and Ye Lingling both felt as if the ground had fallen away from beneath them. How could the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan be gone, especially now? Could Bibi Dong have started the soul hunt operation ahead of schedule? The news hit Chu Chen like a physical blow. An event like this would instantly reshape the balance of power on the continent. Coming so soon after the destruction of the 7 treasure glazed tile school, the timing was too conspicuous. Rumors about Chu Chen had already begun to spread. Now, with another upper 3 sect apparently annihilated, fingers would inevitably be pointed. With the 7 treasure glazed tile school just destroyed, there are already rumors linking you. Now the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, another of the upper 3 sects, has been wiped out. Chu Chen. People will blame you. Douluo looked at him with worry. Ye Lingling shared his concern. If someone wanted to frame Chu Chen, it could be fatal. The situation was perilous. Let's go. We need to see the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan for ourselves. Chu Chen made his decision. He suspected Bibi Dong might be launching the soul hunt early, and that this massacre was meant to point at him. Whoever was orchestrating this could be trying to direct hatred and retribution toward him. Ignoring it could invite a direct attack. I'll come with you, Ye Lingling said firmly. Chu Chen nodded. He had refused her company many times before, but not this once. Douluo had no objections. The 3 of them left Heaven Do City quickly and sped toward the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan's territory. Meanwhile, not long after Chu Chen left, Shui Qinghe arrived at Heaven Do Royal Academy and found no sign of him. His face darkened like storm water. He turned on the porcupine fish Douluo beside him, voice ice cold. Is this how you handled things? Is this your explanation for Chen Qin's escape? The porcupine fish Douluo dared not breathe. Young lord, someone even stronger must have taken Chen Qin. I suspect they were heading for Chu Chen. The nearby Snake Lance Douluo felt relieved he hadn't been on watch that night. Otherwise, the blame would have fallen on him. Shui Qinghe did not need to be told twice. Without Chu Chen at the academy, even warning him was impossible. Back on the road, Douluo gave them a quick status. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan's lands border the Stardew Great Forest. It's not far from here. Won't take long. He studied Chu Chen for a long moment. Who do you think did it? Bibi Dong. Only Spirit Hall has that kind of strength, Chu Chen said. But it could also be us, now that we're at the center of the storm. Douluo forced a bitter laugh. Imagine that. This old man's reputation gets so bloated that I'm accused of wiping out 2 of the upper 3 sects back to back. So are you taking me to deal with the Clear Sky sect next? Chu Chen smiled. It's not impossible. Could this be a trap? Ye Lingling asked, worry threading her voice. Chu Chen was calm. It's obviously meant to kill with a borrowed blade, redirect someone's rage and make me the target. If we ignore it, they'll still come after me. He's right, Douluo agreed. I suspect the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan wasn't completely wiped out. Whoever survived will be looking for someone to blame, someone to direct their hatred toward. When Chu Chen and Douluo reached the clan's old stronghold, they found nothing but ruins. The buildings were collapsed, the land charred and scarred, but there were no corpses. This is poison. Douluo's face drained of color. The air reeked with a horrible, lingering toxin. The victims hadn't been slain by normal weapons. Their bodies had been dissolved, melted into oozing pools, leaving not even bones behind. Heh, poison and the destruction of an upper 3 sect, all arranged to frame the 2 of us, Douluo muttered. Chu Chen's eyes flicked to the ground. Blue-silver grass grew here, unnaturally lush amid the devastation. It's meant to point to Chu Chen, he said quietly. Ye Lingling understood immediately. Someone in the shadows had lost patience and moved to annihilate Chu Chen by proxy, using the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan as the blade. A familiar figure staggered into view, Xiaogang. He saw Chu Chen and with bloodshot eyes roared, "Chu Chen, how heartless! How could you slaughter my people?" Lu Erlong was furious as well, condensing her spirit power for battle. Flender stood nearby, clearly having come with Xiaogang and Lu Erlong. He hadn't expected to run into Chu Chen here. Chu Chen ignored their shouting and scanned the ruins. A solitary figure sat unmoving among the wreckage, like a statue. Xiaogang followed his gaze and stiffened. It was Yuanjin, alive. "Father, you're still alive," Xiaogang said, voice trembling. Yuanjin rose. The cold, killing intent in his eyes snapped into blazing fury, a lightning storm of rage. "Chu Chen, Douluo, my Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan never wronged you. Why did you attack us?" Douluo stepped forward, voice raised. "Old dragon, don't you see you're being used as a pawn?" "Don't give me that," Yuanjin snarled. "Since you 2 dared to return, you will die here. The debt for destroying my sect can only be paid in blood." A thunderous roar split the air. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon spirit surged and merged with him. The dragon's power possessed Yuanjin. His martial soul at rank 96 erupted in full force. At that level, he was likely stronger than Douluo. "Chu Chen, today you will die," he spat. Xiaogang, Lu Erlong, and another ally summoned the Golden Sacred Dragon. When they unleashed their martial soul fusion skill, a titled Douluo-level aura flared out, overwhelming and magnificent. Chu Chen's suspicions snapped into certainty. This was a killing trap set for him. "I did not destroy the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan," Chu Chen said coldly. Yuanjin did not listen. Frenzied with grief and manipulated fury, he launched his assault without hesitation. "Chu Chen, leave this old dragon to me. We're both rank 96. My Jade Phosphor Serpent may not be as domineering as his Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon, but he won't be able to take me down easily either." Douluo's face was serious. No matter how you looked at it, the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon was tied to the Dragon Clan and naturally exerted a suppressive effect on his snake-type spirit. Find a chance to take the Ye girl and get out of here. With that, Douluo's body erupted in a blinding emerald light as he shot into the sky. Boom! He collided with Yuanjin midair. Douluo shouted at the nearly frenzied Yuanjin, trying to stop him. "Yuanjin, have you gone mad? We had no grievance with the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. Why unleash slaughter like this?" Yuan snorted coldly. "Thousands of my clansmen are dead, without so much as their bones remaining. Douluo, do you still dare say it wasn't your poison that did this?" A roar ripped from him. Both his arms became pure crackling energy. The energy tore through space as it fell, domineering lightning fanning out in every arc, each strike carrying overwhelming force. After the collision, Dugubo's arms trembled. The lightning had nearly eaten into his physical body. He fell silent. He already understood. Someone had set a trap and successfully used Yuanzhen to try to kill Chu Chen. Yuanzhen had fallen completely into that trap. Chu Chen, without Dugubo to back you this time, let's see how you stand against the golden sacred dragon we three have manifested. Yu Xiaogang's eyes shone with savage delight. The golden sacred dragon the three of them had formed together possessed the absolute strength of a titled Douluo. Now that Chu Chen was only a spirit saint, what chance did he have? It only carries a sliver of Dragon Clan bloodline, yet it dares call itself a sacred dragon. Yu Xiaogang sneered. Chu Chen didn't waste time arguing. His immediate priority was to take down the golden sacred dragon, then team up with Dugu Bo to deal with Yuanzhen. Dragon Roar of Destiny. A dragon's roar erupted as the sky filled with blue-silver light. That roar was released with an intense surge of spirit power, reinforced by the power of destiny. The invisible shock to the soul forced the golden sacred dragon to shriek in pain. Its body trembled and became unstable. It was authentic, terrifying Dragon Clan pressure. Even the auras of the golden sacred dragon and the blue lightning tyrant dragon felt suppressed. How is this possible? Yu Xiaogang blinked at the faint dragon silhouette that had appeared behind Chu Chen. He couldn't understand what that presence was or why it exerted such pressure. He knew nothing of Dragon Clan hierarchies. He didn't realize the golden sacred dragon might not even count as a minor branch in the Dragon Clan. What use was that meager bloodline power? Xiaogang, kill him now, Flender urged. Under the combined force of the three, the golden sacred dragon recovered and lashed out with its massive limbs. The blow shattered the air, but the golden blue-silver emperor manifested and bound the entire golden sacred dragon in mid-air. Taking advantage of that restraint, Chu Chen activated his blue-silver domain. Blue-silver domain. The domain immediately weakened the golden sacred dragon's aura and drew in all nearby life energy. Bolstered by that life energy, the blue-silver emperor became incredibly resilient. Even while holding down an existence like the golden sacred dragon, it could prevent a break for a time. His blue-silver spirit isn't what we thought at all. How can it exert such control? Yu Xiaogang's confidence wavered. His theories had always been solid, yet Chu Chen continued to frustrate his understanding. The feeling twisted him. He wanted to kill Chu Chen more than ever. Boom! The golden sacred dragon spat a golden beam of light imbued with the power of light flame. As a being on par with a titled Douluo, it finally forced the blue-silver emperor to snap for a moment. Yet the golden sacred dragon still couldn't break free. The blue-silver emperor displayed immortal-like vitality, instantly regenerating the moment it snapped and returning even tougher than before. Chu Chen raised his hand, and blue-gold light swirled within it. 4 of his foremost spirit abilities, each derived from 10,000-year spirit bones, manifested at once: Life Streamer, Life Deprivation, Life Primordial Matrix, and Life Enhancement. With them combined, the blue-silver emperor, which had been gleaming gold, turned ink black like the ink jade divine bamboo and became far tougher. Those abilities coordinated with the amplified blue-silver domain. Life Shock Blast! Chu Chen clenched his fist and a surge of life energy detonated. Flender and Liu Erlong, whose golden sacred dragon had endured most of the backlash for them, felt the pressure ease slightly. But rank 29 Yu Xiaogang could not hold on. Blood dribbled from the corner of his mouth. If the golden sacred dragon had a weak point, it was likely the spirit grandmaster controlling it. To truly break the golden sacred dragon, they needed to directly take down Yu Xiaogang. 5th spirit ability, Void. Soft Bones Rabbit Spirit Bone skill, Teleportation. Using Void and Teleportation together, Chu Chen blinked to Yu Xiaogang's side, appearing with a long spear condensed from the blue-silver emperor poised in his hands. No, Liu Erlong went pale. While manifesting the golden sacred dragon, the three could not move, but their bodies were still protected by a powerful energy barrier. Yet Chu Chen had blatantly ignored that protection. Was he really trying to slay Yu Xiaogang outright? The golden sacred dragon had already condensed a destructive surge to kill Chu Chen the instant he struck, but Void made him immune to all attacks for a moment. Boom! The blue-silver Emperor's spear pierced toward the consolidated power surrounding the trio. Seizing the opening, Chu Chen's forehead flashed with a brilliant light. He had activated a spirit bone. The three were stunned. Life Evil King Spirit Bone skill, Evil Annihilation. Without hesitation, Chu Chen unleashed the new spirit bone skill he had recently acquired. A shocking, blood-colored light descended from the sky, locking onto the physical bodies of Yu Xiaogang, Flender, and Liu Erlong. The strike born from the evil light of the Life Evil King carried an intense evil attribute, fused with the life force Chu Chen now fully commanded. Golden Sacred Dragon, defend! The Golden Sacred Dragon whirled and fired a blast from its maw at the evil annihilation falling from above. When the two attacks collided, a monstrous storm erupted. The shockwave battered all three controllers, especially Yu Xiaogang, who staggered and clearly could not maintain his stance. Taking advantage of the chaos, Chu Chen once more unleashed the second skill of the Life Evil King's Spirit Bone. Chapter 124, Chen Xin appears, threatened. Is Chu Chen in mortal danger? Life Evil King's Spirit Bone, second skill, Evil Domain. It was the second domain Chu Chen now wielded. Even among the elite, domains were rare. Having two was unheard of. Yu Xiaogang's mind trembled. Everything about Chu Chen had already overturned his understanding. Not only the mysterious 4 10,000-year spirit bones, but 2 domains as well. A mere spirit saint with 2 domains? It was unnatural, monstrous. Stop him! Golden Sacred Dragon, heaven-shattering, earth-rending. Golden light flared within the Golden Sacred Dragon as its power surged, trying to resist the evil domain. What they realized with growing horror, however, was that the evil domain was absorbing the dragon's energy. It devoured their power. Not just life force, but spiritual energy, soul essence, everything the opponent had. Even Chu Chen couldn't help but marvel inwardly at the brutality of it. Through all this, he didn't lose himself to the power. This method of cultivation was something he could tolerate. Still, he decided not to stack domains. He withdrew the blue-silver domain and unleashed the evil domain fully. That's enough. Chu Chen used teleportation to create distance. The previous clash had injured him, but he recovered quickly. Yu Xiaogang, however, could not hold on. Chu Chen, are you all right? At Ye Lingling's side, the 9-heart begonia bloomed, shedding glazed rays of light that poured over Chu Chen. They mended his wounds and layered multiple buffs onto him. He felt strengthened beyond measure. Facing the Golden Sacred Dragon now, he felt no fear. With his current power, he could grind it down. When the evil domain faded, Chu Chen exploded with spirit force and dove from the sky to bind the Golden Sacred Dragon. A streak of black light swirled as he gripped the blue-silver Emperor spear and poured all his life energy into a single strike. Boom! The blue-silver Emperor became a blazing spear of light that tore through the Golden Sacred Dragon's defenses and slammed into the energy shield, protecting Yu Xiaogang and his allies. Yu Xiaogang coughed up blood. His face went white. He was the first to be wounded and could no longer sustain the fusion form of the Golden Sacred Dragon. The dragon dissolved and scattered across the horizon. Yu Xiaogang's strength had been insufficient. Chu Chen's life deprivation and the devouring evil domain had eaten away at him, and wearable wounds from Chu Chen's relentless attacks finished the job. Flender and Liu Erlong were badly hurt too. He's only a spirit saint. How can he be this ferocious? Flender's eyes flashed with terror. Regret prickled him for having followed Yu Xiaogang into this mess. This was the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan's affair. Why had he gotten involved? Chu Chen's expression was hard as he looked at Yu Xiaogang. Cold, killing intent filled his eyes. A blue-silver Emperor tendril sliced through the air toward Yu Xiaogang. The blow was meant to pierce straight through him. Yu Xiaogang's face went slack with fear. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. In that instant, a dark figure moved like a shadow and shattered the blue-silver Emperor's strike with a single motion. A mysterious black-robed person had stepped in, taking the fatal blow for Yu Xiaogang. Chu Chen's gaze turned icier. Bibi Dong. He recognized her despite the effort to hide her aura. Who else would have barged in to save a scoundrel like Yu Xiaogang? Chu Chen, you slaughtered my sect. Today, this ends. A blur of motion and a sword light appeared at Ye Lingling's neck. Chen Xin had slipped in unnoticed and now held Ye Lingling hostage. The seven-kill sword's chi already nicked the pale skin of Ye Lingling's throat. Chen Xin, you dare! Violence flared in Chu Chen's eyes. Chen Xin, wild and crazed, sneered. Now that I'm ruined and alone, what don't I dare to do? After saving Yu Xiaogang, Bibi Dong had condensed powerful spirit energy at once. She clearly intended to take advantage of the moment to kill Chu Chen. Yu Xiaogang barked a mad laugh, blood on his lips. With Ye Lingling's life in Chen Xin's hands, Chu Chen could not move freely. All his trump cards would be useless if she died before he could act. I'll make you suffer, Chu Chen, Chen Xin rasped, laughing like a man gone mad. The seven-kill sword had already left a bloody mark on Ye Lingling's white neck. Chu Chen's pupils darkened. The twin energies of life and destruction churned within him, and the will of destruction pressed against the world's will. The sky dimmed as a terrifying aura descended, its gaze like an ancient judge looking down upon everything, steeped in ruin. Chen Xin, I'll kill you! Chu Chen's voice cut like a blade. The space before him fractured as he reached for the destruction dragon spear, intent on ending Chen Xin in one strike. I'm already a wreck, Chen Xin snarled. Even if I die, she'll die with me. You won't stop me in time. Chen Xin didn't fear death. With the seven treasure glazed tile school destroyed and Ning Fengji and Gu Rong killed, what did he have left to protect? If he could drag Chu Chen into losing Ye Lingling, his own death would mean nothing. Under the black robe, Bibi Dong's lip twitched in a faint, satisfied curl. In this moment, Chu Chen's chances to turn the situation around seemed gone. It had been a setup, all right? A trap aimed squarely at him. What Chu Chen had failed to anticipate was that Chen Xin would slip in and seize Ye Lingling. He had expected Bibi Dong to appear to keep things secret. Fewer people meant less chance of exposure. Chen Xin's sudden interference ruined that plan. Though Chu Chen was confident he could kill Chen Xin in one blow, the berserk risk to Ye Lingling made that impossible. Looks like you're in a bind, came a deep voice in his mind, startling him so violently that his murderous glare froze. A tidal wave of shock crashed through him. God of Destruction? Chapter 125, The God of Destruction Descends. Slaying Chen Xin and Bibi Dong. God of Destruction? The instant the voice echoed in his mind, the killing intent in Chu Chen's eyes froze. A monstrous will of destruction erupted from within him, a power so dense it seemed to harden the very air. As my successor, if you encounter trouble, by the rules I may lend you some aid. Be prepared. The voice faded, but a majestic force surged into Chu Chen. His pupils turned dark purple. His expression went utterly blank, cold, emotionless. He looked down on everyone with disdain as a terrifying aura burst outward. Dark purple bolts of destructive lightning filled the sky and earth. Space itself seemed to crystallize. For a single instant, the world fell into an eternal silence. Movement was frozen. Du Gubo and Yu Yuanzhen mid-combat, Chen Xin and Bibi Dong stalled in midair. When the will of destruction flared from Chu Chen, Chen Xin had meant to kill Ye Lingling, but found he simply couldn't. The solidified space held him as well. Under her black robe, Bibi Dong's consciousness was shaken by raw terror. As a fellow successor to a deity, she recognized the godly aura. This was a god's will. Chu Chen was favored by a god. Damn it, she thought, regret flooding her eyes. If Chu Chen truly had a god's succession, then that god had just descended to resolve Chu Chen's troubles. What a terrifying will of destruction. Which god did he inherit? Her voice trembled. She wanted to flee, but could not. The pressure the god of destruction exerted was enough to crush heaven and earth. The frozen space left them alive but helpless, forced to watch as Chu Chen transformed. Chen Xin, 10,000 deaths would not atone for your crimes. Chu Chen's voice was low and remorseless, carrying that divine will of destruction that rendered judgment. Under Chen Xin's horrified gaze, Chu Chen raised a hand and a thread of dark purple light flickered. With a thunderous crack, the sealed space shattered. A scepter wreathed in endless will of destruction materialized in Chu Chen's hand. A dragon shadow coalesced behind him, the destruction ancient dragon. In his grasp sat the divine artifact of the god of destruction, the scepter of destruction. The space around Chen Xin burst like glass. Ye Lingling was swept aside and sheltered by a gentle protection. Chen Xin, however, knew despair. Chu Chen in this form made him feel a tremor deep in his spiritual core. All hope left him. Destruction. Chu Chen whispered as the scepter descended. A roaring tide of will of destruction unfurled toward Chen Xin. Facing imminent annihilation, Chen Xin found a sliver of power and unleashed his ninth spirit ability. Ninth spirit ability, Divine Demon Dual Slash. Sword Intent screamed as the Divine Demon Sword raked across the air. Blinding destructive light drowned the field. Everyone at a distance saw a pillar of bloody radiance surge skyward. The 7-kill sword in Chen Xin's hand snapped into fragments and clattered to the ground. He stumbled, winded and disheveled, his remaining arm crumbled to dust. Bloodied and broken, he had but one last breath. I regret. Chen Xin managed a weak, bitter laugh. His heart swelled with remorse, but it was too late. His assassination attempt had set this chain of disaster in motion. The calamity that had befallen the 7-treasure glazed tile school weighed on him now. Chu Chen observed him without emotion. When Chen Xin tried to kill Ye Lingling, Chu Chen had no intention of letting him die easily. This continent belonged to the strong, and the strong did as they must. You, what will you do? Chen Xin stammered, terror etched on his face. From a distance, Chu Chen seized Chen Xin's throat as if grabbing it from across the void. The will of destruction began to corrode his spiritual core, his face distorted with the agony of spiritual erosion. He would wither and die beneath the relentless entropy. Holy crap, this kid is monstrous, Douluo breathed, aghast. This was the first time Chu Chen had shown such world-shattering power, far beyond his understanding. A spirit saint? He seemed more than that. Chen Xin soon went utterly still and collapsed, dead. With Chen Xin dispatched, Chu Chen's indifferent gaze turned to Bibi Dong. The scepter slammed down, flashing with annihilating light. Bibi Dong's face went ashen. The Death Spider Emperor spirit leapt to possess her in reflex. Her 9th spirit ring flared. She transformed into a terrible spirit-possessed form, her body shrouded in hideous, armored growths. A futile effort, Chu Chen sneered. The destructive light carried absolute power. It pierced into Bibi Dong's chest in an instant. She spat a mouthful of blood, grievously wounded. Destruction verdict. Chu Chen spoke coldly, the killing intent in his tone like ice. A bolt of destructive lightning ripped from the sky, tearing through the void realm and streaking toward Bibi Dong. It was an unavoidable strike. Despair filled her eyes. In that instant, she found mobility again, and with it she condensed her 9th spirit ability, the Death Spider Emperor's final technique, Undying Body. Ah! She screamed, and though she poured every scrap of spirit power into the technique, it lasted only a heartbeat against the divine strike. Her body was torn apart into a mist of blood. Undying Body. Chu Chen observed, seeing only a wisp of aura lift from the corpse, as if some force guided it away from the scene. He retracted the scepter of destruction and turned his attention to Yuanzhen. Space had returned to normal. Yuanzhen had seen Chu Chen slay Tu Suo, titled Douluo with his own eyes. Despair gripped him. Yu Xiaogang had already been scared into collapse. Erlong, let's go, Flender cried, seeing Chu Chen's gaze and panicking. He tried to pull Liu Erlong away. Yuanzhen summoned his remaining strength to whisk Liu Erlong and Yu Xiaogang to safety, but Chu Chen only raised a hand, and Yu Xiaogang was seized. Let me go! Let me go! Yu Xiaogang thrashed desperately in Chu Chen's grip, but all he saw in Chu Chen's dark violet eyes was cold, killing intent. For the first time in his life, he was genuinely terrified, so terrified he wet himself. Humph. Yu Yuanzhen, wake up. You must know who that was just now. Bibi Dong. Her Death Spider Emperor spirit carries a poison far more terrible than mine. It would have left nothing of your entire Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan. Douluo barked at Yuanzhen. From the moment Bibi Dong appeared, Yuanzhen had known who it was, but he couldn't accept that his whole clan had been wiped out like this. Despair clawed at him. He was on the brink of collapse. He said nothing. Only the sound of Yu Xiaogang's frantic struggles filled the air. His pupils widened, his life slipping away. Yu Xiaogang, you should have died long ago. Chu Chen's voice was flat. No, I was wrong. Yu Xiaogang's struggles ended in a gruesome instant as his head exploded, then his body followed. He died on the spot. Chu Chen let him go, landed on the ground, and spat out a mouthful of blood. The god of destruction's divine thought that had intervened dissipated at that moment. Inside his consciousness space, the god of destruction chuckled. Heh, it's settled. Chu Chen cupped his fists in thanks without hesitation. Senior, thank you for your help. It's nothing. As my successor, I won't let anything happen to you. Even if I hadn't acted, Little Green would have intervened. We can sense your situation at any time. The god of destruction spoke calmly, hands clasped behind his back. Chu Chen's curiosity pushed him to ask, "But senior, didn't that break the rules of the god realm? If my divine thought appears, it must obey the laws of the god realm," the god of destruction replied bluntly. "In the situation back there, another divinity's successor was trying to kill you. That allows me to act." Even if it did violate the rules, would he care? Chu Chen thought. He accepted the answer. "I see. Heh, you've done very well. Your trial to become the God King of Destruction will truly begin before long." With that, the divine thought vanished, in the God realm. "Little Green, it's settled. You can relax now." The god of destruction took the goddess of life's hand. Her tension eased a little at his words, though anger still glinted in her eyes. "The Rakshasa god, her successor, actually attacked our successor." At the mention of the Rakshasa god, a flash of killing intent crossed the god of destruction's face. "She isn't in the god realm, true, but I'm well aware of the underhanded things she's been doing." "Why don't we just kill her?" the goddess of life asked with a faint, dangerous smile. It was hard to reconcile such an elegant, dignified goddess with that menace. The god of destruction laughed. "You're impatient as ever, Little Green. Don't worry, with me around, I won't let our successor be harmed. If Chu Chen were in real mortal danger, to hell with the god realm's petty rules. Don't forget who wrote those rules in the first place." The goddess of life's smile grew mysterious. "Then why not just give him the scepter of destruction? Sooner or later, it'll have to happen." The god of destruction froze, a faint blush of embarrassment on his face. After a pause, he said, "I already have a plan for passing the scepter to him. With his current strength, he's nearly capable of controlling it. But he has that destruction dragon spear, which isn't any weaker than the scepter. If you compared them directly, the scepter might even be the lesser of the two." At the mention of the destruction dragon spear, the god of destruction's eyes lit up. He found himself tempted to possess the spear. Its attributes matched his domain of destruction perfectly. Even a god could feel envy at such a terrifying super-divine artifact. He groped for words. "You." The goddess of life simply smiled and fell silent. "Chu Chen, are you all right?" Dugubo and Yelingling hurried forward when they saw him spit blood. Yelingling released her 9-heart begonia and began to mend the injuries inside his body. "I'm fine," Chu Chen said, "but releasing that much destructive power put a heavy strain on me." The god of destruction's divine thought was immensely powerful. If Chu Chen's physical body bore it too long, he could have collapsed. "I'm sorry. Chu Chen, Yelingling's eyes were wet. She blamed herself for holding him back, but Chu Chen waved it away and gently wiped the tears from her face. "You helped. That's enough. I won't let anyone who hurt you go free." Dugubo still felt the aftershocks of fear. "Good thing you had that trick. Otherwise, I don't even want to think about it." If Chu Chen hadn't unleashed that hidden power, Dugubo had no idea how they would have escaped. He swallowed, then asked, "Chu Chen, did you really kill Bibi Dong?" Chu Chen shook his head. "She's not dead. Her 9th spirit ability, Undying Body, will reconstruct her, but she's severely wounded. We won't have to worry about Bibi Dong for a while. I'll personally settle today's debt." Yuan Zhen rose unsteadily to his feet. He stared at Chu Chen with dead, hollow eyes and spoke in a trembling voice. "I'm sorry. Now that your Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan is gone, if you don't mind, Senior, please come back with us," Chu Chen offered after a moment of thought. "If you go up against Spirit Hall alone now, you're just throwing your life away. It's better to build your strength so you can truly take revenge." Dugubo nodded in agreement. Yuan Zhen seemed to find sense in the words. Suppressing his rage, he gave a silent nod. "Let's go," he said. Bibi Dong moved too fast. If the god of destruction hadn't descended, Chu Chen trailed off. He shuddered to imagine how things might have ended without that intervention. A lion's roar suddenly echoed through the forest and mountains. A crimson figure leapt out from the Stardew Great Forest and landed before them. "Chi Wang!" Chu Chen exclaimed in surprise. Chi Wang's low voice was urgent. "Chu Chen, are you all right?" The Lord sensed your aura here, and that you were in a fight. After the Scarlet King arrived, he quickly took in the situation. The overwhelming aura of destruction that had filled the air earlier had vanished, and Chu Chen appeared to be unharmed. I'm fine. The battle's over, Chu Chen said. The Scarlet King flared with brilliant, fiery light, shifted into a human form, and walked over to Chu Chen. Dugubo and Yuanzhen felt the tremendous power emanating from the Scarlet King's body and couldn't hide their shock. Even between them, victory would be uncertain against such a spirit beast. Aren't the Titan Giant Ape and the Sky Azure Bull Python supposed to be the strongest spirit beasts in the Stardew Great Forest? This one looks a lot more terrifying than either of them, Dugubo muttered, unsettled. The forest clearly hid many terrible existences beyond those he had known. Fortunately, this terrifying being had come to check on Chu Chen. The Scarlet King explained, "Earlier I sensed the descent of a divinity's aura and guessed you might have run into something you couldn't handle." Chu Chen briefly narrated what had happened. The Scarlet King listened and nodded. "The Lord asked me to tell you to be careful from now on. Now that you are a friend of our Soul Beast clan, if you ever meet a difficulty you cannot overcome, the Soul Beast clan will be your staunchest ally. This is, after all, a matter among humans. How could we stand by and do nothing?" Chu Chen said. "Senior DTN saved me at a critical moment back then. I am already beyond grateful." "The help DTN gave you is small compared to what you've done for the Lord," the Scarlet King replied. His gaze then fell on Ye Lingling. "You little one, the Emerald Swan mentioned you a few days ago. She said when you need a sixth, you can go to her. Your relationship with Chu Chen is extraordinary. We will help however we can." "Where are Guyue and Ditian? Why are you the only one here?" Chu Chen asked. "The Lord's recovery has reached a critical stage. She is currently slumbering beneath the Lake of Life. As for Ditian, he is absorbing heaven and earth spiritual qi to increase his cultivation," the Scarlet King explained. Lord Bear and the King of 10,000 Demons would not be coming, and the Emerald Swan was not a fighter, so it made sense that he was the only one present. "I understand," Chu Chen said. The Scarlet King smiled. "I will go heal Guyu again soon. I promised you all I would." He extended his hand. A silver dragon scale shimmered into being in his palm. "This is what the Lord wanted me to give you," he said. "Her injuries are slowly healing. Take this dragon scale. When you face mortal danger, she will be able to sense it." Chu Chen accepted the scale. The instant it touched him, a familiar bloodline power surged through him, setting his veins alight, the Silver Dragon King's bloodline. He had felt this power before. "Thank you," he said, and stowed the scale away. After farewells, Chu Chen and his companions set off toward Heaven Do City. Dugubo couldn't conceal his curiosity any longer. "What exactly was that earlier?" he asked. "He's the Scarlet King, one of the strongest in the Stardew Great Forest," Chu Chen said. "There are others even more powerful than him." Dugubo sighed in admiration. "There's always someone stronger. There's always a higher heaven." Meanwhile, in a dark chamber fetid with corrupt energy deep within the Supreme Pontiff Palace in Spirit City, Bibi Dong staggered into being. She was drenched in blood, her robes shredded, and a terrible piercing wound gaped in her chest, the mark from the scepter of destruction. Had it not been for her undying body, the god of destruction's divine thought would have killed her outright. Cough! Cough! Bibi Dong nearly collapsed. The undying body had saved her life, but these injuries were grievous. "Damn that Chu Chen. He's a successor of a divinity too, and he actually triggered the direct descent of a divinity's divine thought," she spat. "Damn him." She forced herself into a cross-legged posture to recover. In that corrupt space, an evil killing intent began to surge. Black-purple light flickered and coiled. That was the Rakshasa god's aura. So what if he's a divinity's successor? I'll reach godhood before him. Then Chu Chen will die. Bibi Dong muttered, trying to reach into the Rakshasa god's aura to ask if it knew which deity Chu Chen succeeded. With her current limits, she had no knowledge of the god of destruction. She sought answers, but the Rakshasa god's divine thought offered no reply. What Bibi Dong couldn't know was that, in the divine space where the Rakshasa god had been hiding, 7 figures of light had abruptly stirred up a raging spatial storm and descended into that accursed domain. This is the place where the Rakshasa god has been hiding, right? The god of Reed's voice was cold as he swept his gaze across the space. Hiding in fear. How pathetic. A lazy voice came from the side, the god of sloth. Indeed, the ones who had arrived were the 7 great sins gods, dispatched by the god of destruction. All 7 were first-class gods, and they had come for one purpose, to stand up for Chu Chen. She's only an evil god. I'll tear her apart myself, the god of pride declared, his arrogance radiating like a storm. Alongside pride stood envy, gluttony, lust, wrath, and sloth, each carrying the terrible presence of a first-class god. A tempest of divine power erupted, rocking the space and nearly tearing it apart. The Rakshasa god, in the midst of her cultivation, froze. She had always been ignored by the god realm and had hidden herself from the Asura god. So why, all of a sudden, were 7 first-class gods attacking her? "What the? Have I broken some law of heaven?" she cried, turning into a streak of light and fleeing at impossible speed. If she didn't run now, she would die. "You still dare to run? I'll kill you. Take this," the god of wrath shouted as he surged forward, giving chase. Chapter 128, The Tragic Rakshasa God. The first trial of destruction descends. Hey, little green, you should be satisfied now. In the god realm, the god of destruction watched everything unfold with perfect clarity. Whether the Rakshasa god could survive the combined onslaught of the 7 great primal sin gods, well, that would depend on her luck. "I suppose you did well enough." The goddess of life finally nodded in satisfaction, her voice soft. "But that Rakshasa god is only a first-class divinity. Facing the combined assault of the 7 great primal sin gods, she'll be dead in no time." She paused, then added casually, "Little Purple, I have an idea." The god of destruction's mouth twitched. He knew his wife only too well. Behind the goddess of life's gentle, dignified exterior lay a calculating, mischievous streak. Sure enough, she continued leisurely, that Rakshasa god's successor actually dared to move against our successors. As a divinity, she cannot escape blame. However, I'll leave this grudge for the future Chu Chen to settle. For now, I can't let her off easily. Little Green, given our status, we can't just act against a divinity of the god realm on a whim, the god of destruction tried to reason. "Is she in the god realm?" she asked. "No." "Then what's the problem?" He had nothing more to say. With that, the goddess of life transformed into a streak of light and shot across the heavens. The god of destruction sighed helplessly and followed. In a void of space, the Rakshasa god's aura flickered and withered. Surrounded by the 7 great primal sin gods, she had no chance. They were merciless, taking turns striking her. "Rakshasa, today is your end." The god of pride sneered at the battered woman before him. "Heh, using such dishonorable methods, the god realm has sunk low." The Rakshasa god's eyes burned with killing intent. She had been practically ambushed. She didn't even understand what had happened before she found herself besieged by 7 titans. "You dare lecture me on dishonor?" one of the 7 snapped. "I won't waste my breath on you." Just as they raised their blows, a figure descended, the goddess of life. With a wave of her hand, surging 20 enveloped the Rakshasa god, knitting her wounds and restoring her fully. "You?" the Rakshasa god stammered, utterly bewildered. What was happening? The god of destruction, who had followed behind his wife, realized with a sinking feeling. It was a deliberate ploy. Heal the Rakshasa god completely, then let the 7 continue their slaughter, literally flogging a corpse repeatedly. Injuries healed, right? The god of wrath hurled a punch infused with the violent power of space. "Take this!" The Rakshasa god could only stare in disbelief. "Fuck you!" The voice cracked across the void, sharp and blood-raw. A blood-colored figure descended into the distance. What's going on?" The Asura god watched with confusion and a trace of pity. Cruel, simply cruel. Although he disliked the god of destruction's interference, the Rakshasa god wasn't truly one of the god realm's divinities, yet he also desired her death. He watched without intervening. If she died, so be it. Back at Heaven Du Royal Academy, Chu Chen had just returned when the first person he saw was Shui Qinghe. The moment Chu Chen appeared, Shui Qinghe rose quickly, expertly hiding his concern. "Brother Chu Chen, I've finally found you." "Brother Qinghe, did you need something?" Chu Chen asked. Shui Qinghe nodded. Chu Chen glanced at Ye Lingling for permission. She gave a quiet nod. Chu Chen and Shui Qinghe then walked off together. Watching their backs as they left, Yelingling sniffed. Humph, I'm the true primary wife. She turned away with a hint of tsundere pride and went to find her good sister Duguyan. Once they reached a quiet, secluded spot, Qian Renshui could no longer hold back. Chu Chen, Chen Xin was rescued, but I'm still worried about him. He's dead. Chu Chen told her what had happened, but omitted certain details. He didn't say the god of destruction had descended. Instead, he claimed the Scarlet King had appeared and saved him. Qian Renshui fell silent, but worry clouded her face. After a long moment, she ground her teeth. It seems Bibi Dong rescued Chen Xin and set that trap to use Ye Lingling to blackmail you. Thinking of how close Chu Chen had come to death, fear and anger warred inside her. Bibi Dong, what a scheme. Icy resolve cooled her eyes. She had not expected Bibi Dong to act so swiftly, wiping out the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan overnight to lure Chu Chen into a trap and finish him off. She decided then to return to Spirit Hall and confront Bibi Dong personally. After a pause, Qian Renshui remembered her promise to Chu Chen. She produced a diamond-shaped, crystal blue 15 that gave off a faint, extraordinary aura and handed it to him. This is the vast sea cosmic shroud you wanted. If you went to such lengths to obtain it, it must be extraordinary. Chu Chen accepted it and smiled lightly. This item was left behind by a divinity. A remnant soul resides within. If the opportunity arises, it can guide you toward the path of divinity legacy. Qian Renshui's expression, once calm, darkened with solemn shock. Such an object existed within the Heaven Do imperial family? No wonder. You want this. Does that mean you intend to pursue the path of inheriting a divinity? Chu Chen only smiled and said little. Then, without warning, a low voice sounded in his mind. Overbearing, carrying a verdictal authority. Chu Chen, you are now qualified to begin the God King of Destruction trials. Beginning the first trial of the God King of Destruction legacy, within 1 year, slay 100,000-year Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. The God of Destruction. Chu Chen's eyes flashed with fierce light. Flames seemed to burn in them. The first trial of the God of Destruction had descended. Compared to the Goddess of Life's trials, these would be far harsher. The opening test already demanded the slaughter of a 100,000-year spirit beast. What would the later trials be like? Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse, another spirit beast I've never heard of. Chu Chen mused. You're in luck, Qian Renshui said suddenly from the side. I happen to know where one of those spirit beasts can be found. Chapter 129. The Overbearing God of Destruction, Eradicating the Remnant Will of the Sea God? Chu Chen's eyes flashed as he asked Qian Renshui impatiently. You know about it? I've never heard of this Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. It is indeed an extremely rare spirit beast. I only heard my grandfather mention it in passing. Its origins are mysterious, and it rarely reveals itself, Qian Renshui replied. She told Chu Chen what she had heard from Qian Douluo. This spirit beast has a unique attribute, the Nirvana attribute. How to put it, unlike ordinary attributes, Nirvana has the power to annihilate everything around it. As far as I know, there should only be one Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse left on the Douluo continent. Chu Chen considered this for a moment. The God of Destruction's trial was something he had to complete. But his relationship with the Soul Beast clan was now complicated, and 100,000-year spirit beasts were already few and far between. If he killed another one, the consequences would be serious. He sighed inwardly. Forget it. No need to overthink it. Since it's my trial, I'll just complete it. He stopped hesitating. The divine trial was mandatory, and the Soul Beast clan would have to be informed later. Then, where is this Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse? He asked. I'm afraid I'll have to ask my grandfather. He should know. But since this is information you need, I'll help you find out, Qian Renshui answered decisively. You want to hunt the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse for your second spirit, right? Yes. If I successfully kill the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse, it would indeed make a perfect 27 for my second spirit. Chu Chen didn't mind Qian Renshui knowing about his second spirit. With her abilities, it wouldn't be hard for her to find out, especially since he no longer hid the power of the destruction ancient dragon. Leave it to me, Qian Renshui said with a light smile. Does this count as another favor? Chu Chen feigned helplessness. It seemed this was now the second favor he owed her. Qian Renshui let a rare, playful expression flicker across her face, but then she turned serious. By the way, Chu Chen, now that the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School has been destroyed, I want to change some of my plans. I need to ask you for help. Chu Chen hesitated a moment before saying, Tell me, I do owe you a few favors. The destruction of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School shows the Spirit Hall's plans have accelerated. Now that Bibi Dong has even moved to destroy the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, it's clear her ambition has begun to show. Qian Renshui continued, Her next step will probably be to win over the remaining sects, strengthen the Spirit Hall's power, and then launch a war. That's likely, Chu Chen agreed. His action against the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School had indeed pushed the Spirit Hall's spirit hunting plan forward. That meant Bibi Dong would soon be consolidating the major sects to create the Spirit Empire, then truly wage war. So what's your plan? Asked. To get ahead of her, Qian Renshui said, hatred flickering briefly in her eyes. Win over the major sects and have them serve me. Take the Spirit Hall out of Bibi Dong's hands. Starting by taking control of the Heaven Do Empire, I'll gather enough power to seize the Spirit Hall. Then I'll establish a better order. Her eyes were full of ambition. Chu Chen wasn't surprised by her goal. The Douluo continent does need unification, he said. But can you really be the kind of ruler to manage a new order? He added with a smile. Qian Renshui didn't answer, or rather, she couldn't answer for the future. A faint smile crossed Chu Chen's face, and he let the matter rest. After they spoke a little more, Qian Renshui left to return to the Elder Hall and ask Qian Douluo about the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse's whereabouts. Taking the opportunity, Chu Chen took the vast sea cosmic shroud and returned to Heaven Do Royal Academy. Under the sparse stars and bright moon, he walked to a deserted spot in the hazy moonlight. He opened the shroud, and a deep blue light erupted from it, sending out a unique rhythm like rippling water. Such surging 18. It really is a fine item, he murmured, thinking how best to use the vast sea cosmic shroud. To simply carry it would be a waste. He reached out and attempted to touch it with the ultimate life energy from his fingertips. A burst of light flared up, but there was no further reaction. Chu Chen fell silent. Don't I carry at least a trace of the goddess of life's aura, or the god of destructions? Using the aura of two god kings to suppress a mere vast sea cosmic shroud should be a piece of cake, right? He stopped using the ultimate life force of the blue-silver emperor. A dragon's roar manifested within him, and his will of destruction poured into the vast sea cosmic shroud. Boom! With a loud bang, a buzzing sound came from inside the shroud, followed by a visible crack. Crack! The vast sea cosmic shroud seemed unable to withstand the will of destruction and fractured. It looked broken. Chu Chen was stunned. What was happening? You actually obtained the sea god's item? A familiar voice echoed in his mind. It was the god of destruction. Chu Chen hadn't expected the god to stop pretending and speak to him directly. Senior god of destruction, is this vast sea cosmic shroud broken? Chu Chen asked cautiously. It simply couldn't withstand my will of destruction. Ever since my divine thought descended on you last time, your own will of destruction has been tainted with a bit of my aura, the deity replied. That's why the vast sea cosmic shroud is so wary of you. There was a brief hesitation in the god's mind, then the emotion faded. Forget it. I'll completely erase the 24 left by the sea god inside it. Afterward, this thing, forget it. It's not very useful anyway. Just keep it for now. Chu Chen. Why did everything sound so casual? Or was that how gods behaved, overbearing and indifferent? The will of destruction condensed and plunged into the vast sea cosmic shroud. Before long, the deep blue light inside faded significantly, and the sea god's form was directly erased. It had been reduced to an ordinary object. In the god realm, the sea god. Chapter 130. Heading to the city of slaughter, Qian Douluo appears. Chu Chen retracted the vast sea cosmic shroud. With the sea god's remnant soul inside it having been completely obliterated, there was no longer any risk that it might turn against him. Now it was time to attempt the final evolution of the blue-silver domain, part of the 5th trial set by the God King of Life. Ever since the blue-silver domain gained that evolution skill, my comprehension has hit a bottleneck, Chu Chen muttered, a trace of frustration in his voice. Now that he had advanced to Spirit Saint, his life force was tremendous. With it, he could challenge opponents at titled Douluo level. Yet his understanding of the blue-silver domain had stalled. I can feel something there, but I can't seem to reach that realm. He unleashed the blue-silver domain and let it expand without restraint, swallowing the surroundings. Under the night sky, countless stalks of blue-silver grass swayed and bloomed with brilliant light. Each blade seemed to possess its own awareness, steadily transmitting life force to its neighbors. The sheer accumulation of vitality was staggering, and it all resonated through Chu Chen's body. With his current strength, the domain covered the entire Heaven Do Royal Academy, stretching 10,000 meters. A continuous torrent of life force rolled outward. It was overwhelming. An innate domain gains a massive boost at the Spirit Saint level. My application of the blue-silver domain is still insufficient. After an unknown amount of time, he withdrew the domain. The power of ultimate life circulated within him, catalyzing everything nearby. The glow of life could have covered the world, making everything bloom. 2 days later, a letter arrived from Qian Renshui. It was short, but the news it brought was exactly what Chu Chen needed. Chu Chen, I have located the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. It hides near a foul place called the Slaughter City. This is the recorded location. I will wait here. The stone in his chest finally eased. Connections were useful, indeed. I didn't expect it to actually be at the Slaughter City, he said to himself. He meant to tell Ye Lingling where he was heading, but Du Guyan shook his head with a helpless expression. Lingling just entered seclusion. Something major is about to happen with her cultivation. Chu Chen's expression tightened. He knew why Ye Lingling had been practicing so relentlessly. After the fight at the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, she had felt like a burden and had thrown herself into training to become stronger. He had tried to advise her, but she was determined. For now, he could do nothing but accept it. All right, tell Lingling I'll be back in a few days. Then he left. You're going adventuring? You're taking me, right? Dugubo called from the sky, smiling lazily. Chu Chen had not summoned him, but they ran into one another as Chu Chen departed. Dugubo had been bored for days, so the two set off together. With Dugubo now reaching the power of a true powerhouse, someone who in Spirit Hall would be considered capable of entering the Elder Hall, Chu Chen felt he had less to worry about. The first trial from the God of Destruction didn't forbid others from hunting the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse, Chu Chen said, and the Slaughter City. To him, the Slaughter City was both unfamiliar and ominously familiar. Its reputation was fearsome, though he had never personally encountered it. That place is the Asura god's territory. The Rakshasa god once left a wisp of aura there. As a successor of the God of Destruction, going there could draw the Asura god's attention. He thought of the feud between the Asura god and the God of Destruction, and felt an odd heaviness. If the Asura god has already chosen Tang, then we'll be on opposite sides someday. There will be a future clash. Soon, they reached the coordinates Qian Renshui had given. 2 figures were already waiting. Chu Chen, you're here! Qian Renshui waved. Dugubo's face suddenly changed when he saw the man beside her. High Priest Qian Daoliu? You're Dugubo? Qian Daoliu also recognized him, surprised that someone of Dugubo's talent had managed to raise his inner attribute to level 96, and that there might still be room for improvement. Damn, this kid Chu Chen didn't tell me Qian Daoliu would be here. This guy's the strongest in Spirit Hall. Dugubo's admiration was plain, but he also recognized Qian Renshui. They had met once before in the Star Do Great Forest, though Dugubo hadn't known she was Shui Qinghe at the time. Otherwise, his reaction would have been even more animated. Chu Chen stepped forward and greeted Qian Daoliu with a respectful incline. He, too, had not expected Qian Daoliu to show up. He should have been guarding the Elder Hall. So you're the one little Shui mentioned. Your bearing is decent, but your strength is lacking, Qian Daoliu said flatly. After nodding to Chu Chen, he turned away. Chu Chen could only stare. Those words were blunt to the point of danger. Qian Daoliu's gaze fell beyond them, as if piercing the space to where the Slaughter City lay. A trace of complexity surfaced in his eyes. He leaned forward and murmured, Tang Chen, I sense your aura. Qian Renshui didn't catch the whisper and asked instead, Grandfather, is the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse really here? Yes. As a unique spirit beast, its traces are singular and easier to follow, though the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse is not an easy prey. Are you sure you want? Douluo glanced at Chu Chen and Douluo. Douluo's current strength might barely attract the High Priest's attention. Chu Chen, a mere spirit saint, left Douluo puzzled at where his boldness came from. Lead the way, senior, Chu Chen said calmly. Douluo nodded. Space in front of him trembled, and in the next instant, a majestic force enveloped the group, drawing them into the region of space that led toward the Slaughter City. The space here is strange. There is still some distance to the Slaughter City itself. I cannot go deeper. If you approach the Slaughter City proper, you will lose the ability to use spirit abilities. Chapter 131. The Sea God, angry but suppressed, afraid of death. There is a suppression of abilities here. Unless you possess the Slaughter God domain, you can't use spirit abilities. Douluo's tone was calm, but the warning in his words was unmistakable. Facing a 100,000-year spirit beast without spirit abilities, even an ordinary titled Douluo would struggle. Chu Chen, with only spirit saint strength, was at an even greater disadvantage, so we can only rely on domain skills and spirit bone techniques to kill the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. Chu Chen had already guessed this possibility when he learned the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse was in Slaughter City. It made the plan far more dangerous, but there was no other option. Douluo nodded. Chu Chen, this... Douluo hesitated, then said with reluctance, Chu Chen, this is really too dangerous. If spirit abilities can't be used, the only thing I can offer is the Medusa Skull Bone skill. Douluo looked troubled. Without spirit abilities, his options were limited to Medusa's Gaze and the Despair domain. I'll go alone, Chu Chen said calmly, voice steady. Renxue and Douluo both paled and protested at once. How can that be? Facing a 100,000-year spirit beast alone is far too dangerous. I have 5 spirit bones and a talent domain, Chu Chen replied. Even without spirit abilities, I still have many methods. He signaled them not to worry. Even with suppressed abilities, he had confidence. He possessed 5 spirit bones and 2 divine artifacts. The Destruction Dragon Spear and the 3. Renxue stood and volunteered. I'll help. I have a talent domain. At least I can assist. That's true. My spirit bone skills aren't bad either, Douluo added with a small smile. Chu Chen nodded in agreement. Seeing their resolve, Douluo turned to Renxue. Xiaoshui, be careful. The commotion from hunting the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse may attract the attention of the Slaughter King. With me here, he won't interfere, but you can't stay long. Renxue agreed quickly. As they headed toward the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse's territory, Chu Chen asked curiously, How did you convince your grandfather to come along? Renxue answered with a faintly tsundere tone. Grandfather never refuses my requests. Her brows knit as the dense killing intent in the air grew thicker. Her seraphim attribute recoiled at the cold violence saturating the place. This land is truly fallen. Through the blue-silver domain, Chu Chen released to conceal their presence. They approached Slaughter City and could sense some of what lay inside. Douluo was blocking the Slaughter King, but if other Fallen here discovered them, it would mean a bitter fight. And that would surely alert the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. The almost automatic brother Qinghe nearly slipped from Chu Chen's mouth. He caught himself and suddenly didn't know how to address Renxue. Qing what? Douluo asked, curious. Nothing. Just, when we fight, you two only need to use your domain skills to assist. Leave the main attack to me, Chu Chen said without changing expression. Douluo didn't press it. Renxue chuckled softly and leaned close so her faint voice touched Chu Chen's ear. If you don't mind, just call me Xiaoshui, same as my grandfather. Chu Chen was momentarily stunned. Douluo frowned, caught a sour, jealous sensation he didn't like the sound of. Following Douluo's directions, the group soon found the valley in this fallen space where the aura of Nirvana swelled, blooming like thunder. Boom! Even from a distance, Chu Chen felt the overwhelming power of Nirvana. He paled. This enemy would be extremely difficult. Do you have a plan? Renxue asked. No particular plan. Just go straight at it, Chu Chen replied. In a fallen space that suppressed most of his abilities, his only reliable tools were spirit bone techniques, his domains, and his divine artifacts. Be careful, kid, Douluo said solemnly. Since meeting Chu Chen, he'd seen many exciting battles, but this time he couldn't help, and that made him uneasy. For now, he could only hope Chu Chen would be careful. As Chu Chen prepared to strike at the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse, far away in the God Realm, inside the Sea God Temple, fury boiled over. Damn it, Asura, can you do anything? That god of destruction actually erased my remnant thought inside the vast sea cosmic shroud, the sea god Poseidon raged. Does he think I don't know? The Asura god snapped coldly. I just couldn't beat him, so I feigned ignorance. Poseidon seethed. He wanted to charge at the god of destruction, but confronting him directly would be suicide. Why are you so calm? Do you think I can face him now? Asura's eyes were scarlet, and his voice dipped into a warning tone. I advise restraint. The Rakshasa god's successor nearly harmed the person this destruction took a liking to. The Rakshasa god was surrounded and left to the brink of death by the 7 deadly sins gods, Asura continued. Then that life deity fully healed her, only to have them surround and nearly kill her again. They're fanatical about protecting their own. At that, Poseidon's body trembled. He'd chicken out. He had wanted to find a way to kill Chu Chen, but it now seemed wiser to keep his head down. He didn't want to be hunted and beaten to death repeatedly. However, Asura added, icy and calculating, that human Chu Chen has gone to Slaughter City, my turf. A small trick there could cripple him. He smirked. He knew of Chu Chen. He had been waiting for an opportunity. As for Tang San, Asura went on, switching topics, when will you start his legacy? The plan for the dual god positions must move forward. Only then can Tang San have a chance to kill Chu Chen. Chapter 132. Tang San establishes the Tang sect and learns of Xiaogang's death. That Tang San seems to be forming some kind of sect lately. The sea god replied. He had clearly been watching Tang San all along. The Asura god cursed. Damn, not doing proper business, starting a sect. That legacy of destruction is about to become a spirit Douluo, and Tang San isn't even a spirit emperor yet. Can't he try harder? Could our judgment of people really be worse than destruction in life? The sea god fell silent. In Heaven Dew City, inside the old mansion of the defense clan, Tang San sat with Ning Rongrong, Dai Mubai, and Ju King. They were joined by guests they had invited from the 4 great clans, Taitan, Niu Gao, Baihe, and Yang Wudi. Ha, Sectmaster. Our Tang sect can now be considered officially established. You'll have to take charge from now on. Taitan laughed. He and Tang San had been busy arranging this, finally gathering these old fellows together for the purpose of founding the Tang sect. Elders, the existence of the Tang sect must remain secret for now. We need to strengthen quickly, whether to deal with Spirit Hall or to avenge my companions. Tang San sat at the head and spoke quietly. We must master the most powerful hidden weapons. Rest assured, Sectmaster, that Chu Chen is only a spirit saint. I just need an opportunity to ambush and kill him. Yang Wudi boasted. Even the senior sword Douluo failed in his ambush. Elder Yang, we need other means to kill Chu Chen. Tang San could only think along these lines now. He believed Tang sect hidden weapons could make them invincible. Buddha's Fury Lotus, torrential pear blossom needles, artifacts like Bodhi blood and Guanyin's tears. Fine, but he's only a spirit saint. Is he really that strong? Yang Wudi still sounded unconvinced. The news that the 7-treasure glazed tile school had been destroyed couldn't be false. For the moment, we'll develop in secret here in Heaven Dew City. We don't need to change the defense clan's plaque. That's our best cover. And there's something else I've discovered. Tang San hesitated. It concerns the Heaven Dew imperial family. I suspect the imperial household has already been infiltrated by Spirit Hall. Just then, Flender appeared. When Tang San saw him, he asked, Dean Flender, what? Little San, Xiaogang. Flender's voice was choked, and he could not make a sound. What happened to teacher? Tang San's expression shifted. A bad premonition rose in him. He was killed by Chu Chen. When Flender finally said it, all the strength seemed to drain from him. Tang San felt the sky fall. He staggered back 2 steps, overwhelmed by a helpless, crushing grief. Another person closest to him had been taken by Chu Chen. Chu Chen, damn you! Tang San howled. Slaughter City. The 2 of you assist me. Chu Chen spoke calmly, killing intent burning in his eyes. Qian Renshui and Dugubo nodded. Their seraphim spirit and jade phosphor serpent spirit bloomed at once. Angelic domain, despair domain. The two domains' amplification power landed on Chu Chen alone. Blue-gold light rippled through his body, sweeping across the world around him. Blue-silver domain, evolved skill, all living things. With the three domains amplifying him, even though Chu Chen was technically still at the Spirit Saint level, his combat power had already reached that of a Spirit Douluo. Countless blue-silver emperors bloomed into the sky, pure life light saturating Chu Chen. Then he transformed that surging life force into the primeval power of destruction. An ancient destruction dragon manifested. Dragon roars answered as Chu Chen summoned the destruction dragon spear. The will of destruction poured through him, raising a beam of light to strike down as if to pierce heaven and earth. Qian Renshui and Dugubo changed color as they felt the spear's power. No wonder Chu Chen had always been fearless. Come to think of it, why didn't he use that scepter he summoned last time? Dugubo muttered. The surrounding power suddenly welded together, then detonated. The valley shook, cracks spreading for miles. The magma beneath the ground flared up. Boom! A Nirvana heavenly dragon horse, black wings unfurled on its back, burst through the air in a fit of rage, its face twisted in a hideous grimace. The creature locked its gaze on Chu Chen. The power of Nirvana could quietly and completely annihilate whatever it touched. Now it spoke clearly, its presence vast. Human, you dare to intrude into my territory. Before the Nirvana heavenly dragon horse, Chu Chen stood with the destruction dragon spear, dragon shadows circling him, the will of destruction nearly swallowing him whole. Do I need to greet you first? Chu Chen replied coldly. No need for words. Become my sustenance. The Nirvana heavenly dragon horse drew on the violent thunder nature of Nirvana as it dove to strike. Chu Chen tore through its attack with a blow of his spear and controlled the oppressive weight of surrounding space. Mountain Dragon King's spirit bone skill, gravity control, under crushing gravity suppression, the destruction dragon's spear descended with force measured in tens of millions of jin, enough to pierce anything. Gate of Nirvana, the Nirvana heavenly dragon horse cried, and a spatial channel blazed open before it. The destruction dragon spear slashed straight into the channel and reappeared behind the heavenly dragon horse, an evasive use of space power. Nirvana, space, thunder, three attributes, is it? Chu Chen's expression hardened. The Nirvana heavenly dragon horse's strength exceeded his expectations, but he could not back down. With the three domains amplifying him to the extreme and the destruction dragon spear back in his grasp, he raised a column of light and charged forward. Boom! The light was blinding, consuming everything. Even Qian Renshui and Dugu Bo couldn't see what happened inside it. At that moment, a blood-colored figure rushed in from the distance, only to be cut off halfway by a burst of golden sword light. It was Qian Douluo. He had acted, blocking the Slaughter King. The Slaughter King was thus prevented from intervening. Chapter 133. Gu Yuena notices help from the power of destiny. Outsider, do you really think my Slaughter City is somewhere anyone can just walk into? The Slaughter King's cold voice echoed through the blood-colored void. He did not strike at Qian Renshui and the others. However, Qian Dalu's presence kept him cautious. The Slaughter King watched the duel between Chu Chen and the Nirvana heavenly dragon horse from afar. Who was this human to dare covet a Nirvana heavenly dragon horse? A cruel light condensed in his crimson eyes. He knew Qian Dalu was terrifyingly strong and, crucially, unaffected by the spirit ability seals that confined others here. A direct confrontation could go either way. Qian Dalu glanced toward Qian Renshui and Chu Chen. He could act, but he understood this place. Slaughter City answered to two divinities, the Asura god and the Rakshasa god. As a divine disciple of the angel god, he could do no more than intimidate. Unleashing a fearsome power to warn the Slaughter King was as far as he could go. The rest had to be settled by Qian Renshui and the others. Heh. Even if I can't act directly, my Slaughter City still has an army. An invisible will spread. The fallen knights gathered, their bodies wreathed in dark flames, and they locked onto Qian Renshui and the others with deadly precision. The shockwaves of destruction receded. The valley had been ground into endless ruin by the world-shaking assault. Above the wreckage, the Nirvana heavenly dragon horse moved. The space around it drained of color until everything turned stark black and white, soundless, motionless, swallowed by a void of cessation. Nirvana domain, the horse intoned, its voice low and inexorable. Chu Chen felt himself pulled into that monochrome void. The blood-red haze that had made his heart race vanished. As far as he could see, there was only pure black and white. His spirit energy began to ebb, and his consumption of strength was accelerating. This Nirvana domain was oppressive beyond description. If Nirvana were rare across the Douluo continent, its force here was overwhelming. It shared similarities with destruction, perhaps, but it followed an entirely different path. The domain restrained and dissolved. Nothing ordinary could withstand it. Blue-gold light flared within Chu Chen, an abrupt, forceful splash of color that pushed back against the white and black void. "Blue-silver domain," he shouted. He no longer held back. The blue-silver domain clashed with the Nirvana domain. The collision of two ultimate domains sent silent ripples through the blood-colored space. Around them, the Slaughter City itself seemed to shudder. Qian Renshui and Dugubo exchanged a startled glance. The angelic domain and the despair domain, normally their sources of assistance, were no longer effective. Chu Chen's locked in a special engagement with the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. "Our domains can't reach him," Dugubo said, alarmed. The Nirvana domain could isolate their powers. Without their enhancements, Chu Chen's own strength could no longer be guaranteed. "Then we have to break the Nirvana domain," Qian Renshui decided at once. Gripping the golden angel's sword, she fused her spirit strike with the angelic domain and swung with all her might. A blinding golden blade of light descended like a sunsplit, arrogant and severe. Boom! The blood-colored void seemed to be sliced open. Qian Renshui seized the fleeting opening and struck at the Nirvana domain. Dugubo followed, launching a devastating spirit assault from the jade phosphor serpent while activating his spirit bone skill, Medusa's Gaze. Their attacks struck together. The black and white space trembled, and then their strikes dissolved. The Nirvana attribute silently swallowed their spirit attacks, rendering them null. The domain absorbed and turned everything into Nirvana. "What a terrifying Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse," Dugubo warned. "Chu Chen, be careful." Chu Chen, too, had realized why the horse had pulled him into its domain. "You brought me into your Nirvana domain because you fear the angelic domain's counter," he said. "It can hinder me, but it wasn't enough to make me retreat." "I'm simply fascinated by your power, and I intend to devour it," the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse replied, its voice everywhere in the void. Within the colorless space, Chu Chen fought to reclaim a pocket of life. Ultimate life and the power of destruction swirled around him. He had two enhancement domains, the blue-silver domain, which wielded ultimate life, and the evil domain, tainted by his second spirit, the destruction ancient dragon, with a streak of destruction. The two domains surged into a storm around him, ripping at the black and white world. A dragon's shadow tore the sky as Chu Chen spiraled the destruction dragon spear in his hands. Its tip stabbed through the void and unleashed a dazzling light. "Your Nirvana attribute is powerful, and it can affect nearby space. Unfortunately for you, it cannot restrain the power of destiny." Chu Chen's voice was cold. The destruction dragon spear erupted in black and gold light, the manifest power of destiny. An illusory golden dragon condensed and cried out, its roar shaking the heavens. The power of destiny possessed by the Emperor Auspicious Beast had an absolute suppressive effect on any spirit beast. Far away at the Lake of Life, the three-eyed golden lion, the Emperor Auspicious Beast, also flared with light. Its eye of destiny opened. It sensed Chu Chen's plight and registered worry on its small face. "Auspicious Beast, what's wrong?" Silver Dragon King murmured. Through the power of destiny, the three-eyed golden lion had informed Silver Dragon King of what it had perceived. Concern flashed in her beautiful eyes. After a moment's thought, she decided to help. Chu Chen shared a destiny with the Auspicious Beast. "Can you channel my power into the technique we used before? It may resonate." The Auspicious Beast obliged. Chu Chen was unaware, buried in battle. His battle intent rising like a tempest. The dragon roar of destiny tore through the Nirvana domain as he drove the destruction dragon spear and stirred the will of destruction. He and the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse collided in an all-out clash. "Human, The horse said warily through the white and black void, "You actually possess the power of destiny?" Chapter 134, Chu Chen's Suicide, the terrifying effects of the life contract. When Chu Chen unleashed the power of destiny, the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse felt the absolute suppression of a spirit beast monarch. Part of that suppression seemed to belong to the three-eyed golden lion, and, astonishingly, another portion to the silver dragon king. The dragon roar of destiny ripped the Nirvana domain to shreds. At the same time, the 5 soul bones within Chu Chen flared, emitting brilliant rays that lit up the whole space. Life Evil King Soulbone Skill, Evil Nirvana. Chu Chen channeled the light of evil, a heavenly judgment. Bolstered by the will of destruction, this 100,000-year soulbone skill grew even more devastating, like tearing through the vault of heaven as waves of malevolent aura surged outward. Space, Nirvana, and lightning erupted together. The Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse chose to counterattack. The horns on its head channeled the 3 elements into a single beam of light. The 2 beams collided with a terrifying fury. The underground cavern that housed Slaughter City shook violently, rocks rained down and lava surged. "Those who trespass into Slaughter City shall die." At that cry, a mass of dark fallen knights charged at Qian Renshui and Douluo. They moved with disciplined, brutal coordination. Douluo stiffened. The jade phosphor serpent hissed and spat a green, poisonous miasma. Even in a place filled with fire attribute lava, the natural counter to poison, Douluo only laughed. "My jade phosphor serpent Emperor Poison is immune to fire," he declared. After its evolution, his poison had become extraordinarily potent. Calling it the ultimate poison was no exaggeration. The miasma corroded and slowed the fallen knights. Seizing the opening, Qian Renshui swept her sword forward. Although she couldn't use spirit abilities, the support of her 26 and the angelic domain let her strike, backed by the formidable 26 of a spirit saint, cut through the crowd. "These fallen knights are frenzied. We have to hold them," Douluo barked. Qian Renshui nodded. They couldn't help Chu Chen right now. They had to stop the tide of attackers. Despite the earth-shattering clash, the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse's aura remained overwhelmingly strong. Surrounded by 3 ultimate attributes, it was hard for Chu Chen to find a chance to land a decisive wound. Then the Destruction Dragon Spear tore through space and pierced the dragon's flank. The will of destruction began to corrode its physical body. Enraged, the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse beat its massive black wings, lightning dancing across them, and slammed into Chu Chen. Blood spattered across his body. The dragon's lightning attacks were unbearably vicious. At this level of power, both sides could only trade brutal blows to make any headway. "Human, you are no match for me. Obediently become my nourishment," the dragon sneered, gathering energy to unleash the Nirvana domain again. Chu Chen watched coolly. Life Dragon Soul Bone Skill, Life Contract. He activated the second skill of the Life Dragon Soul Bone for the first time. Life Contract, a skill that almost never failed. A strange life mark blossomed in Chu Chen's eyes and then appeared on the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse's body. The dragon's expression flickered with confusion. It sensed a peculiar connection to Chu Chen, but despite its strength, could not discern its nature. A flash of ruthlessness crossed Chu Chen's face. Under the stunned gaze of the dragon, he drove the Destruction Dragon Spear straight into his own chest. Pfft! Crimson ran slowly down the shaft. The blow hadn't pierced his heart, but it caused grievous injury. His face went ashen and cold sweat beaded on his brow. The dragon sneered. "Human, you know you are no match, so you chose to commit suicide?" Then, as if struck, its sneer froze. It stared in disbelief at a hideous, penetrating wound that had simultaneously appeared on its own chest. When had that opened? The dragon realized with dawning horror that the life contract had linked their injuries. What Chu Chen inflicted upon himself had been shared. "Human, die!" The dragon roared and lunged, furious, ignoring the terrible wound it now bore. Chu Chen pulled the spear free. Blue-gold light wrapped his wound. Blue-silver Emperor Soulbone Skill. Wildfire cannot consume them. They rise again with the spring breeze. Under the divine rank Blue-silver Emperor Soulbone Skill, Chu Chen's injuries began to heal visibly. The Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse, however, was in much worse shape. The penetrating wound had nearly torn through its heart and shattered its organs. Chu Chen, though, had not dared to pierce his own heart. He lacked the confidence to heal that deeply. If he had pierced his heart, even 100,000-year spirit beast would likely lose half its life. "You're a lunatic," the dragon howled. "Thanks for the compliment." And Ramaf, Chu Chen replied with a grim smile. He gathered every scrap of the will of destruction and drove his fist into his own chest again. His constraints were severe. This dragon's control of 3 attributes meant only a bloody, desperate gambit could wound it enough. The second self-inflicted strike staggered him. He coughed out a mouthful of blood, and his aura dimmed. The dragon, grievously injured, plummeted from the sky. The combined wounds had shattered its internals. "You?" It rasped, spitting blood and pieces of tissue as it convulsed. Relying on the blue-silver Emperor's soul bone skill and ultimate life, Chu Chen's wounds repaired quickly. Seeing the dragon in that state, he knew it was time to finish it. The destruction dragon spear erupted with overwhelming force, turning into a dragon-shaped shadow as it descended. Chapter 135, Asura God's Killing Intent. Goddess of Life descends. "Human, you want to kill me? I will make you die." The Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse sensed death approaching. In its final throes, even though it could no longer launch effective attacks, the death cry of a 100,000-year spirit beast was still extraordinary. Its roar shook the space, and magma all around surged into the air, threatening to explode outward and take everything with it. "Want to take me with you?" Chu Chen smiled coldly. He watched the destruction dragon spear fly, its tip aimed at the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. Then he slowly spread his hands and summoned a crystal that blossomed with 7-colored light, the 7-color soul crystal. He poured every last scrap of his spirit power into it. He intended to use the extreme mental assault held within the crystal to annihilate the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse's soul. Boom! A dazzling silver light burst from his body. Chu Chen froze, then instinctively took out the silver dragon talisman the Silver Dragon King had once given him. The talisman was glowing now, an illusory dragon shadow condensed around it. The Silver Dragon King's power, and the power of destiny? He realized what had happened. The 3-eyed golden lion had formed a sharing of the power of destiny with him, and the Silver Dragon King, through that link and the talisman, had delivered pure power to him. "Thanks," he whispered. Chu Chen unleashed the full might of the 7-color soul crystal. Behind him, the destruction ancient dragon manifested. Beside it, a dragon silhouette wrapped in silver light and the phantom of a golden dragon circled the sky. Then all 3 merged into the soul crystal. A gorgeous, devastating storm erupted, an attack condensed from extreme spirit power. The fallen knights besieging Qianrenshui and Douluo were vaporized into ash. The Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse was struck as well, its mental sea shattered. The blow destroyed everything about it. It could no longer drag Chu Chen to death with it. "I'll leave you one breath," Chu Chen said, and a blue-gold glow of life kept the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse barely alive. He could not absorb the Nirvana essence here. The Slaughter King watched from afar, like a tiger stalking prey, and the fallen knights were endless. Trying to draw that essence now would only invite complications. "Xiaoshui, old poison, let's go." His voice was weak. That suicidal move he'd used earlier had not been without effect. He was injured, and only the power of ultimate life was stopping him from getting worse. "Chu Chen, are you all right?" Qianrenshui helped him up. She had seen him drive the destruction dragon spear into his own chest and had panicked. She had wanted to rush to him regardless of anything, but it turned out to be his fighting style. Insane, but planned. "Let's move. These fallen knights won't stop." Douluo's deep voice covered their retreat as he held off their pursuers. Qianrenshui spread her seraphim wings and bore Chu Chen away. Chu Chen used his blue-silver Emperor spirit to bind the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse and carry it out of the space. He actually succeeded. The Slaughter King's face was grim. He had not expected this human. Only the strength of a spirit saint, unable to use spirit abilities, to slay the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. He muttered in disbelief. Asura Chi, ultimate life, extreme destruction. Since when had Spirit Hall produced someone like this? Qiandalu saw their escape and stopped trying to intimidate the Slaughter King. He, too, was stunned that Chu Chen had slain the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse, especially after witnessing his abilities up close. Asura Chi, Two great extreme attributes, Qiandalu thought. That dragon spear's quality probably surpasses almost any weapon on the Douluo continent, and that dragon might earlier. Despite all the questions in his mind, Qiandalu could see clues. Even the blue-silver emperor, could it really have produced a second spirit of that terrifying quality? There was only one plausible explanation. Chu Chen's blue-silver emperor spirit must carry a natural blessing from a divinity, much like the seraphim spirit. He also felt relieved in one respect. Chu Chen seemed to have a good relationship with Qian Renshui. At least this potentially terrible enemy had not become her foe. Qian Renshui might even have feelings for him. As Qian Daoliu prepared to catch up, an unusual movement rippled through the surroundings. The entire space around Slaughter City surged with streaks of blood-colored killing intent. Those streaks condensed into an incomparably majestic strike that locked onto Chu Chen, aiming to kill him instantly. What is this? Qian Daoliu's face changed. This force was something he hadn't imagined, using the underground space itself to form such a terrifying blow. Divine attack? He had no time to think. He transformed into a beam of golden light and rushed forward. Chu Chen's life or death mattered to him, but at that moment, Qian Renshui still supported Chu Chen, slowing them. Boom! The blood-red torrent was about to engulf Chu Chen when an emerald-green energy mixed with dazzling golden light tore into the space. A stunningly beautiful figure descended. In her eyes, which could contain all things, there was the gentleness of a divinity, but now they burned with furious intent. She lifted a jade hand and struck. Chu Chen felt his blue-silver emperor spirit go wild, autonomously blooming into the blue-silver domain. He regained the right to use his spirit abilities. The life energy cascaded like a majestic torrent, accompanying the woman's palm strike, and it collided with the blood-colored light. The impact nearly buried the entire underground chamber. Goddess of Life. Chu Chen guessed who had descended, the Goddess of Life. It made sense. The terrifying attack that had just tried to kill him likely came from the Asura god, who had been attempting to harness the power of Slaughter City as a testing ground, and now wanted him dead. Chapter 136, The Gentle Goddess of Life, obtains the domain of destruction. The descent of the Goddess of Life completely repelled the Asura god's power. Her furious strike even nearly severed the Asura god's lingering legacy in the space above Slaughter City. After she neutralized the attack, the look the Goddess of Life turned on Chu Chen grew soft. With a jade-like hand, she lifted a faint curtain of light and took Chu Chen and the others away. Damn it, what on earth was that? The Slaughter King could only watch helplessly as the Goddess of Life carried them off. Although Slaughter City suffered no real losses and the fallen knights could be regenerated, the fact that he had failed to turn this group into nourishment for Slaughter City left a deep regret in his heart. It's safe here. Inside his mental space, Chu Chen saw the Goddess of Life. She stood dignified and elegant, suffused with divine radiance. One calm glance from her and Chu Chen felt the injuries inside his body vanish as if they had never been there. "Senior, thank you for your help," Chu Chen said sincerely. "Chu Chen, you did very well. You handled Xiaozi's first trial excellently. You are my successor. No one can harm you." The Goddess of Life smiled gently. "The Asura god broke the rules by mobilizing his residual 25 to attack you. That gave me sufficient reason to descend with a divine thought." Asura god. A cold gleam passed through Chu Chen's eyes. His enmity with the Asura god and with the sea god had now been firmly set. "Do not worry. Focus on increasing your strength and completing the god trials. Leave the rest to fate." She paused, then continued with some hesitation. "Regarding your 5th trial, I'll give you some guidance, but because of the rules and constraints of the God realm, what I can share is limited. Much will depend on your comprehension ability." With those words, a surge of emerald green light poured into Chu Chen's brow. It was a gift that would require time to digest. The present moment was not ideal for fully comprehending it. "So far, you have done very well. I look forward to the day we truly meet in the God realm. Xiaozi and I both look forward to it." As the Goddess of Life began to dissipate inside his mental space, Chu Chen blurted, "Senior," she turned. "What is it?" "I think you should know about my relationship with the Soul Beast clan," Chu Chen began, hesitant. Given the ties between the God realm and the Soul Beast clan, I'm caught in the middle. The goddess of life, fell silent for a moment, reading his unease. The God realm and the former dragon god, she said, then stopped. Never mind. The current dragon god has long since split into the Golden Dragon King and the Silver Dragon King. You have a very good relationship with the Silver Dragon King. She harbors strong hostility toward the God realm, but I believe that when the time comes, you will make your own plans. Xiaozi and I will not interfere. She smiled at him. Do you know what the true meaning of life is? It is not to walk a path of ultimate life for its own sake, but to protect the billions of living beings in the world, protect the myriad races, even the Soul Beast clan. That is a grand path filled with universal love. From my perspective, the Soul Beast clan is also part of the world's vast tapestry of life. I believe you will not let me down. With that, the figure of the goddess of life slowly faded away. Protect all living beings. Chu Chen murmured to himself. When he opened his eyes, they were no longer above Slaughter City, but standing in a quiet forest. Qian Renshui and the others were at his side. When they saw him wake, they breathed out in relief. Chu Chen, are you all right? Qian Renshui asked, worry plain in her eyes. I'm fine now. Chu Chen smiled and shook his head. The goddess of life's healing had fully restored him. This Nirvana heavenly dragon horse won't last much longer. Kill it, Qian Douluo said calmly. Chu Chen nodded and rose to kill the Nirvana heavenly dragon horse. As he passed Qian Douluo, the elder revealed the secret Chu Chen had been carrying without changing his expression. You are the successor of a divinity, aren't you? The one who descended earlier was the divinity you're inheriting from. That admission still left everyone shaken. As believers of gods, they understood the implications. That's right, I'm inheriting the divinity of life, Chu Chen acknowledged. Life divinity. Qian Douluo murmured, thoughtful, then a relieved smile crossed his face. Very well. It seems Xiaoshui has good taste in friends. Since this matter is settled, I won't stay. Xiaoshui, take care of yourself. Qian Renshui looked reluctant to see him go, but she said nothing and concealed her feelings as he bade them farewell. Chu Chen, don't dawdle. Hurry up and absorb the 27, Douluo urged. If you don't absorb it soon, the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse will probably die naturally. All right. Chu Chen summoned the Destruction Dragon Spear and struck, killing the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. A crisp, system-like voice rang in his mind. Chu Chen, you have completed the first trial of the God of Destruction's assessment. Your God King 2020 has increased by 5%, and you are rewarded with the Domain of Destruction. Your current God King 20 is now 5%. The second trial of the God of Destruction's legacy has begun. Within 3 years, condense the transcendent divine artifact, the Scepter of Destruction. Chu Chen stared. This progression felt shockingly fast. Only the second trial, and already a demand to condense the Scepter of Destruction? He thought grimly that if the pace continued, perhaps the third trial would require inheriting the God position itself. With his present strength, he could barely wield the Destruction Dragon Spear at its true power. Condensing a Scepter of Destruction within 3 years would be an enormous challenge. Still, at least he had 3 years. He was especially surprised that the reward for the first trial had not been a 26 or a 3. Instead, he had been granted the Domain of Destruction. Now he alone possessed 3 major domains. What a terrifying position that made him. As the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse died, a 100,000-year spirit ring that warped the surrounding space appeared. Chu Chen released his 13 and immediately began absorbing the 27 ring into his 13. While Chu Chen was busy with the absorption, Qian Renshui hesitated, then turned to Douluo. Senior Douluo, may we speak in private? Of course. Douluo nodded. Qian Renshui was Qian Dalu's granddaughter. He could ill afford to offend her, and he was giving her plenty of face. The two moved a short distance away and began to speak privately, while Chu Chen absorbed the 27. Several hours later, after the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse's left arm bone had perfectly fused with Chu Chen, his spirit rank soared to level 76. By now, Chu Chen had filled all 6 standard spirit bone slots on his body. Even the weakest of them was a 100,000-year bone. He wore the Life Evil King head bone, the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse left arm bone, the life dragon right arm bone, the mountain dragon king torso bone, the blue-silver emperor divine rank right leg bone, and the soft bones rabbit left leg bone. The lowest was a 100,000-year bone, the highest reached divine rank. If the world ever learned of this set, it would be sensational. Countless people would risk everything to kill him and seize those bones. Done, Chu Chen whispered. He opened his eyes but didn't immediately see Douluo and Chan Renshui. Using his spirit sense to probe, he located them and walked toward the direction of their voices. Are those two talking about something in common? Chu Chen wondered. When he arrived, Chan Renshui and Douluo were looking his way with puzzled expressions, as if they'd been wondering the same thing. What are you two? Chu Chen began, then stopped. I was just discussing something with Senior Douluo. No need to worry, Chan Renshui smiled. Seeing that Chu Chen had absorbed the bone, joy flickered across her face. Kid, you succeeded? Douluo noticed that Chu Chen's strength had grown even more ominous. Although Chu Chen had only absorbed 100,000-year spirit bone, and his spirit rank had only jumped 2 levels, his presence had become increasingly unfathomable. You succeeded. It's time to go back. The three left that strange forest and headed for Heaven Do City. The first trial concerning the god of destruction had been completed. Chu Chen's next plan was to first comprehend the guidance left by the goddess of life. After he completed the 5th trial of the Life King, he would return to the Star Do Great Forest. Killing the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse required great effort. Support from the Silver Dragon King and the Three-Eyed Golden Lion had been crucial. Judging by the time, it seemed he had been away from the Lake of Life for quite a while. Once they reached Heaven Do City, Chan Renshui parted ways with them. Chu Chen didn't find that odd and continued through the city with Douluo. Something's not right, Chu Chen muttered. You noticed it too? Douluo's expression stayed composed, but he had already been speaking to Chu Chen in private. Why are so many spirit masters appearing in Heaven Do City, and why are they targeting you and me? Chu Chen's spirit sense was no weaker than a titled Douluo like Douluo. As they walked, he sensed hundreds of spirit masters scattered throughout the city, all on guard, searching for something. Who do you think it is? Douluo asked. He didn't take these mysterious spirit masters lightly. Few had the courage to stare down a titled Douluo unless they had backing. Spirit Hall? He suggested. Not sure yet, but from their disciplined appearance, they're not a ragtag bunch. To mobilize such forces, they don't look like an ordinary faction, Chu Chen said. His spirit sense spread outward, the invisible blue-silver domain blooming, and he projected his spiritual incarnation into the sky. From above, the clues confirmed his suspicion. The reconnaissance was professional, practiced, but in front of Chu Chen they still looked inexperienced. They're heading toward that place, Chu Chen murmured, then returned his mental incarnation to his body. I think it's Tang San. Tang San? That stray dog? Douluo grunted. Tang San was the son of Tang Hao, a persistent thorn. Though Tang San was only a spirit king and Douluo could kill him easily, the name alone brought a headache. No, it's not him personally, Chu Chen added, as if he had read the whole situation. Old poison, I'll go first. See you later. He vanished in an instant. Douluo stared after him. Damn, that kid can run. Forget it. A group of clowns isn't worth my time. I'll go find someplace to drink tea. He strolled off. Inside Heaven Do City, in the Defense Clan mansion, Chu Chen's main body was shrouded by a surging spirit aura. With the blue-silver domain masking him, his presence was hidden from everyone except perhaps a titled Douluo. On the surface, the place remained the Defense Clan, but beneath the facade, it had already begun to develop. Spirit masters from the 4 great clans filled the halls, and Chu Chen crept silently into the central council chamber. Sect Master, I think it's best to secretly use those hidden weapons of yours loaded with deadly poison to kill that Chu Chen, the hot-tempered Yang Wudi said. Old goat, Chu Chen is not easy to deal with. Didn't you hear what little San said? Bai He interrupted. Sect Master, your spirit rank has reached level 60. You should make time to obtain your 6th spirit bone. If you fill that slot, even a spirit saint would be no match for you. Tai Tan, loyal to Tang San, believed in his master's strength. In a few days. We've been investigating secretly these past few days and discovered that the Royal Guard's Spirit Masters have actually been replaced by Spirit Hall agents. I suspect Spirit Hall has already infiltrated the royal family, someone reported. Tang San sat in the seat of highest authority. Whenever Chu Chen's name came up, killing intent hardened in his eyes. His enmity with Chu Chen ran deep. I will not only kill Chu Chen, but utterly destroy Spirit Hall. Uncle Grandfather, please have the Speed Hall disciples continue the investigation. As Tang San finished, a few figures flashed past the door. Sectmaster, we found traces of Chu Chen and Dugu Bo. They appear to have just returned to Heaven Do City. A blonde woman was with them, but they separated, the Speed Hall disciple reported. Tang San frowned. Chu Chen went where again? Who is that blonde woman? Hidden nearby, Chu Chen couldn't help but smile. The Tang sect's secret operations were growing, but he had discovered them first. He had no intention of letting them continue to develop unchecked. Chapter 138. Chu Chen makes his move. A one-on-one battle against the Tang clan. Tang San regrets taking the wrong path. Continue watching Chu Chen and Dugu Bo's movements. To deal with both of them, we must prepare thoroughly and make sure we have a one-hit kill. Having learned from past mistakes, Tang San had grown more cautious. Even though he had obtained his 6th spirit ring and his clear sky hammer carried 6 10,000-year spirit rings, he still didn't trust himself to be certain of killing Chu Chen. Chu Chen's strength was simply terrifying. Patience was necessary. Give me a little more time. I'll forge the Tang sect's supreme hidden weapons. Then whether it's Chu Chen or Dugu Bo, they will die without fail. Tang San said this with full confidence. He truly believed that in this world, even the strongest titled Douluo would not be able to stand against top-tier Tang sect hidden weapons. The Buddha's Fury Tang Lotus and the torrential Pear Blossom Needle could slay a titled Douluo. If not for his current lack of personal strength, he might have used Bodhi blood techniques or Guan Yin's tears to finish Chu Chen himself. To craft the Tang sect's top-tier hidden weapons, I'll need Master Lu Gao's help, Niu Gao said, looking at Lu Gao standing to the side. Lu Gao waved his hand indifferent. As long as I can make them, I have no problem. Let's hear the Sectmaster's next plan. What will you do? Tang San paused a moment before speaking. First, keep everything as it is. I'll continue observing the imperial family. At the same time, I'll secretly capture Ye Lingling and Dugu Yan. We'll cripple their spirits, but not kill them. That will give us enough leverage to blackmail Chu Chen and Dugu Bo. Tang San continued, but he added soberly, Chu Chen probably won't fall for that. So when the time comes, I'll need the 4 Hall Masters to unleash their strongest attacks, combined with the Tang sect hidden weapons, to kill Chu Chen outright. No one objected to Tang San's plan. What they didn't notice was a stalk of blue-silver grass quietly growing in the center of the meeting hall. Sectmaster, why did you release your spirit? Tai Tan asked, puzzled. Tang San was stunned. Release my spirit? He blinked as realization struck. Blue-silver grass? His eyes narrowed as a conspicuous gold-veined blue-silver emperor unfurled, and his expression changed drastically. Watch out! Tang San shouted. Before he finished, Chu Chen's cold voice rang out. Mental shock! A boundless, terrifying life force carried by the blue-silver emperor erupted outward. The weaker members, Dai Mubai and Juju King, blacked out immediately, blood streaming from their 7 orifices, and fell unconscious. Even the 4 spirit Douluo present felt their souls about to be torn apart. Enemy attack! Tang San yelled. Chu Chen appeared in an instant. He slowly clenched his fist as invisible life energy condensed, building toward an absolute explosive shock. The closest man, Taitan, trembled and stumbled back several paces before steadying. His defensive power was formidable, but his mental guard was weak. Chu Chen, so you dare show yourself! Tang San roared. At the mention of Chu Chen's name, Yang Wudi's eyes flashed with killing intent. He hefted the soul-breaking spear and charged. Chu Chen, die! Yang Wudi bellowed, and the spear burst with a blood-colored radiance. His greatest advantage was overwhelming offense. In sheer striking power, he could rival some titled Douluo. If I didn't come, you'd be scheming behind the scenes again, Chu Chen said coldly, his tone rousing Tang San's fury. Since your Tang sect is still hiding things, it doesn't need to continue to exist. Today, I'll strangle your Tang sect in its cradle. Chu Chen's voice echoed through the hall, spurring Yang Wudi and the others into full killing intent. How could Chu Chen be so bold? 7 treasures glazed tile. Ning Rongrong supported Yang Wudi with the 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda, boosting his attack speed and for the moment lifting him to the level of a titled Douluo. Chu Chen raised a barrier formed by the blue-silver emperor to block the soul-breaking spear. At the moment of impact, the spear nearly split the emperor's defense. As expected of the soul-breaking spear, Chu Chen noted, blue-gold light bloomed as a stalk of the blue-silver emperor burst through from the side, nearly piercing Yang Wudi's skull. Fortunately, he dodged, taking only a cheek scratch. An after-image flashed by Baihe, whose speed was almost impossible to follow. Just as Baihe's strike was about to land, Chu Chen teleported aside. The blue-silver emperor climbed his arm and condensed into a long spear. While forcing Yang Wudi back with one strike, Chu Chen punched into the air. Golden light flared as he blasted it toward Titan. Titan struck back, their fist winds colliding. Niu Gao used his spirit avatar, the massive rhinoceros, erupting with indomitable defense. The 4 of them attacked together, focusing on killing Chu Chen. Chu Chen, since you dare show yourself, today we'll help the sect master end you, Yang Wudi shouted. With the 4 of them coordinated, even a titled Douluo would be hard-pressed, much less Chu Chen. Tang San's eyes were cold as he joined the fight. He wanted to kill Chu Chen with his own hands to avenge Xiao Wu, Yu Xiaogang, and the others. Chu Chen had taken everything from him. Clear Sky Hammer! Chaotic Cloak! Tang San roared, swinging the Clear Sky Hammer. Each strike stacked power. Thunderous winds whipped up around him, black light spreading and growing ever more fearsome. Yang Wudi and the others hurled wave after wave of assault at Chu Chen, but even under that pressure, Chu Chen's offense remained precise and increasingly fierce. 4th spirit ability, Life Enhancement, Chu Chen called. Ink-colored light surged out. Both the blue-silver emperor and Chu Chen himself entered a hardened state, and his combat effectiveness exploded. He forced Titan back with a punch, then unleashed a devastating kick. The wind from his leg howled and once again repelled Yang Wudi's spear. A stalk of blue-silver emperor silently shot out and pierced directly through Yang Wudi's palm. Everyone present was stunned. None of them understood how Chu Chen's attacks had manifested so suddenly. How had his blue-silver grasp been cultivated to such a realm? So resilient, so full of life force. Tang San's heart tightened with regret. Only now did he realize that his blue-silver grass had taken the wrong path from the very beginning. Seeing how powerful Chu Chen's blue-silver emperor had become, Tang San bitterly regretted having listened to Yu Xiaogang back then. Yu Xiaogang had caused him immeasurable harm. The hammer wind whistled in Tang San's hands, erupting with an intense black light. He was clever. Rather than attacking Chu Chen head-on, he tried to strike from the side. After all, Chu Chen's true opponents were Yang Wudi and the others. Able to wound me? Very good. Martial Soul Avatar. A ferocity flared in Yang Wudi's eyes as he activated his avatar of Martial Soul. The soul-breaking spear in his hand carried a crushing, forward-pressing killing intent, stabbing at Chu Chen with lightning speed and relentless force. If the spear struck, the result would be death or crippling. In avatar form, Yang Wudi's aura was immense, nearly shuddering the massive council hall with its power. Chu Chen did not dodge. He condensed a blue-silver emperor spear in his hand, its light ink-dark and unyielding. In toughness, the blue-silver emperor at this point was hardly inferior to a tool spirit like the soul-breaking spear. This was the power of ultimate life, immortal, indestructible, and with attack power rivaling a true tool spirit. Chu Chen had advanced far on this life path. They clashed again and again, each blow releasing powerful energy shocks. At the same time, Niu Gao and Titan unleashed their martial soul avatars. A giant rhinoceros and a massive ape descended from the sky, intent on crushing Chu Chen. With a thunderous roar, Yang Wudi and the other 2 were all knocked back. Chu Chen's whole body burst into light. The blue-silver emperor's radiance blazed, engulfing him. Facing 3 spirit Douluo at once, his arms suddenly blossomed with light, and everything around fell silent. What is this? Titan stared dumbfounded. The world had drained of color, turned pure black and white. The light of extinction had been released. Chu Chen's arms shone with that void-like light, and a killing will spread out invisibly and intent to erase all. The light of extinction quietly devoured color and suppressed nearby powers. Even their senses and spirit power were constrained. "Retreat! Quickly!" Yang Wudi shouted. He reacted first, trying to slip out of that monochrome space. He felt an abnormal danger within it. With their strength, they could barely perceive the hidden threat, but the sense of imminent peril was undeniable. Then suddenly, a shaft of blood arced into the air. Baihei had been pierced through the chest by the light of extinction. From the moment Chu Chen released it, his target had been Baihei. His speed had been terrifying, and once someone entered the space covered by the light of extinction, even the slightest fluctuation would be seized. Baihei fell from the sky, chest ripped open, life force drained by the power of extinction. He soon lost his breath, mercilessly extinguished. This was not just simple void power. Chu Chen's extinction also contained a will of destruction, making it even more terrible. Old White Bird, Yang Wudi and the others finally understood the true threat Chu Chen represented. Though he was only a spirit saint in rank, his combat power could rival many ordinary titled Douluo. A fierce wind rose, and Chu Chen's 7 spirit rings flared, stunning everyone. Red, black, 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 red, red, red. This was the terrifying arrangement of his spirit rings. As the Blue-Silver Emperor had evolved and his own strength had grown, his first ring, the innate spirit ring, had at last evolved to the 100,000-year level. At the Spirit Saint realm, he already possessed 4 100,000-year spirit rings. Tang San's pupils contracted. For a moment, his resolve to kill Chu Chen wavered. This man's spirit rings were monstrous. In comparison, Tang San's clear sky hammer, with uniformly 10,000-year rings, suddenly seemed laughable. They couldn't even compare to one of Chu Chen's rings. 4 100,000-year spirit rings. What kind of monster is this? Titan's face drained of color. A short while of fighting, and Baihei had been dealt a mortal blow, and the 3 of them were all injured to varying degrees. They finally understood why Tang San had warned them not to underestimate Chu Chen. At that moment, many Tang sect disciples gathered, well-trained and forming phalanxes. New Gao barked orders. Hall of Defense disciples, form a defensive formation. They rearranged and launched a coordinated counterattack. In response, blazing life aura bloomed within Chu Chen. 7th spirit ability, Blue-Silver True Body. Blue-silver stalks broke eerily through the ground. The moment they erupted, they multiplied and scattered, piercing through the bodies of the Hall of Defense disciples like spears. Blood flowed like rivers. New Gao stood stupefied. The Hall of Defense was famed for its defense. How could they be unable to even stop Chu Chen's grasp? The attack slaughtered the Hall of Defense disciples outright. But Chu Chen's offense did not stop there. The Blue-Silver Emperor spread across the field. The seemingly soft grass was now a blade, sharper than any edge, able to rip through flesh. Seeing Ningrongrong still trying to support them, Chu Chen's attention sharpened. A streak of blue-silver shot across the air, singing with lifelight, clearly aimed to finish off Ningrongrong. Tang San intervened in a rush. He slammed the clear sky hammer, pushing the disorder-splitting wind hammer technique to the 81st strike. By now, the hammer's force was terrifying. Clear sky hammer, disorder-splitting wind, 9-9 returns to 1. A violent hammer wind smashed into the blue-silver stalk. The stalk was sent reeling, beginning to splinter under the onslaught. The clear sky hammer's ultimate strike was indeed extraordinary. Boom! The attack had been packed with killing intent, and Tang San's expression changed drastically. The clear sky hammer itself cracked. He spat a mouthful of blood and was thrown back, carrying Ningrongrong with him. Sect Master. Titan's eyes reddened as his Titan giant ape swung its massive arms, striking toward Chu Chen. In response, Chu Chen unleashed the second ability of the Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse Spirit Bone. Black wings unfurled behind him, like those of a Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse. Nirvana Heavenly Dragon Horse Spirit Bone technique, endless extinction.